SRTV. Innovative content, global audience.
Yes, welcome everybody to another special edition of the Town Hall broadcast all the way from London. My name is Daddy Chris and this is SRTV. On tonight, as usual, we're going to be introducing you to a special guest. But tonight is the special of the special. I put it so. I'm introducing somebody I met. I never knew that Urubu has such a brain. I never knew Delta has such a brain. I never knew Nigeria has such a brain. I'll be bringing him. As usual, you can do anything. You can ask any questions. And for those of you who have the link, you can join your video. And if I have not been able to add you, please be patient. I will add you, and I will decide how it is. This is going to be floor. He's here for the next 1 hour or so to answer our questions. His name is Olorogun Immanuel Edijala. Leonard, don't worry, I don't want to say much. I'm going to bring him on screen and quickly get into the business of today. But first, quickly, let me tell you what the Town Hall Meeting is all about. The Town Hall Meeting is a program we designed to introduce to you important people, the things we need to know, the people we need to meet, and the opportunities ahead of us. Sometimes the mainstream media, because of IT, may not be able, you don't have this kind of interaction with your leaders. So the essence of this meeting is for us really to have this platform where we talk as brothers and sisters, as friends, and sometimes we fight. But at the end, we agree. So, and on tonight's show, like I said, is a special guest. It's a special guest. It's Olorogun Immanuel Edijala. As you're going to see later, he's running for the office of the governor. He's going to say it under the platform of the People Redemption Party, PRP. Olorogun, you're welcome.
Daddy Chris, I'm very much delighted to be with you today again. I'm very happy to be on the town hall with you at the town hall meeting of today. As a special guest, like you said, I'm very happy and pleased to be with you and all the audience.
You know, the last time I didn't get to see who was talking. I mean, I was saying, where is she? Where is she? Now you got to meet him. Please introduce yourself properly, sir. Your name and your party and all you stand to. Just a little bit. Let's get to know where you come from, because it's very important that sometimes we have this opportunity and we just walk past each other. Yeah.
Yes, simply Immanuel Edijala. Immanuel Edijala hails from a place called Oparabi in Ugele South local government area of Delta State. Born to a family of 7, as the last born of the family. I have been in politics for some time. Actually contested for the first time in 2003. I aspired, let me put it that way, under the Alliance for Democracy at the time. When that didn't sail through, I joined the Labour Party in 2007. I also ran for the governorship. I was the flag bearer for the Labour Party in 2007. And then I went on leave of absence because I didn't make enough impact as I should have been. And so I went back to my business. I'm a private sector man. I run my own organizations as the MD of Express Cargo Liner Shipping Company, as well as Shaft and Capstone Integrated. This is an oil and gas company. So these are specialized areas that I operate. I operate in the oil and gas sector and in the maritime sector. And I've been in those sectors for well over 30 years and a household name in those sectors. So my politics is more of, okay, if it doesn't work well, I have my business to go back to, because I have this firm belief that governance is like business. Government should be treated like business, not a place where you just go for a vocation. No, politics can be a vocation, but government must be treated like business. So this time around, I came out under the People's Redemption Party, one of the oldest parties in the country. In fact, the party was set up in 1978 by Aminu Khan, And I would say the PRP has been the driving force for the northern economy. They had the first governor in Kaduna, and the economic base of the north is based in Kano and Kaduna. And these were the governors, that took those states to where they are today, the envy of other states in the north. So PRP is a very focused party, maybe new here in the south, but like I said, it's one of the oldest parties in the country. An ideological party, because that's what we lack at this time. Most of the parties are not ideological. If you look at the two major political parties, they are all springs of one another. So they share the same ideology. So I had to take a total divergence. I had to leave all the roughness within the political system to go to a place where I think there's so much discipline, there's so much to think about, and I'm happy we're in the PRP.
Wonderful. Because like you said, for those of us, and I think it's very important to stress this at this moment, that many of you watching show tonight may not be very familiar with People Redemption Party. I didn't even know, I know that then Aminu Kano, when we were growing up then, that is under the first, it's not the first republic or so. We have the Aminu Kano, they all made it part, only them the time of Olorogun. So yes, definitely that should be one of the oldest political parties in Nigeria. And sir, you just said something very important. I'm going to take you on that. You said the other political parties, they seem not to have ideology or have the same ideology. Could you quickly just run briefly, what are the ideologies of the People Redemption Party for the purpose of us in the meeting tonight?
Great.
I don't want it to be
before I go into that, the thinking of the people is that they want to be at the center. So they don't even know whether the parties have ideology. They just key into any party that's at the center. But over time, we have come to realize that being at the center is not enough to bring in the dividends of democracy. We've had most of these parties operating from the center, like the APC and the PDP, and we have had nothing to show at home for supporting the parties at the center. So that's why I now thought that the best way would be to have an ideological party like the PRP. The PRP is a welfarist party. When we say welfarist, it's for the talakawas. When we say talakawas, we mean the ordinary man, the masses. It's a party for the interest of the common man. But I don't like to use the word common man, because no man should be referred to as common. Everybody, have inalienable rights to existence, to good life. So over time, PRP has developed that niche for itself. It has carved that niche for itself. It has been able to move a lot of people out of poverty. And the level we are in Nigeria today, there's so much poverty. So you need a party like PRP that understands the problem of the ordinary people. I still want to use the word ordinary people, not common man, to be able to move them from that poverty level to the middle class. And that's where all these other political parties have failed. Nobody has moved anybody from poverty into prosperity. In fact, there has been no prosperity in the last well over 20 years. Of this current dispensation, the level at which we are moving has been so slow. We are moving, at a snail's speed, and that's not what we need at this time. We need to be able to, get our people out of poverty as quickly as possible, because if we don't do that, what will be left with us will be anarchy. And all the security we are talking about today will be child's play. So we need to be able to come out with a government that can get a lot of us out of poverty as quickly as possible. That's where we are. That's why I think the PRP understands what the ordinary man needs. And it is better positioned. It's been tried in the north, where you have much more poorer persons. and it has worked for them. So we have now been put into those same positions where a lot of us in the South here are now very poor. If you look at the index today, you will see that our educational system has been destroyed completely, where you have 9 out of every 10 persons, unable to get proper education in Nigeria, Delta State inclusive. So we need to get ourselves out of poverty, and we have to do that through a lot of programs, through education, through wealth creation, and through the power agenda that I've just set up. So the ideology is more of it's welfareist.
Wonderful. Because I know Bishop just joined us. Bishop Ame is from the land. Your phone is mute, Bishop. Although you have some blue things from that Benin area. You're welcome to the show, sir. Bishop Ame.
Thank you very much.
It's one of the regular contributor from Italy, and a lot of people will soon be joining us. Tonight, we are privileged to have Olorogun Immanuel Edijala of the People Redemption Party, PRP. He's been talking us through the major ideology, which is the welfare-oriented, people-oriented vision. And I call that, which I find interesting. In fact, the last time I had the opportunity, I'm going to be throwing some few questions to Olorogun himself, after which I will allow the rest of you to ask your questions. So, Olorogun, welcome properly now to me and you first. So, allow me, let me, if you guys give me time, let me be with Olorogun for a few minutes, and I'll let you join us. So, Olorogun himself, let me put it this way. What would you say motivated you? What catapulted this movement to run for the governor of Delta State? Of course, it could be a career, but what are your vision, or what do you want? What change do you want to make? What do you want to see differently?
Yes. So the word is motivation. What's a motivating factor? We're all in a society where we want better life for our people, and if people are not getting this better life, the onus will be on anyone. It can just be anyone who is willing to offer him or herself for service. Offering oneself for service is not anything bad. I know I have the requisite knowledge, requisite qualification to move us out of poverty. And I know at this point in time, you need somebody with an entrepreneurial spirit to get us out of the doldrum. So and there are techniques for doing this. It's not every Tom, Dick, and Harry that can just come and, turn situations around. You must know how the public sector works and how the private sector works, and then you merge both together. And like I said, I'm not just new. I've been around the system. I'm just someone who likes to take things one step at a time. So at this time, I think it's just right. Okay. The age is right. Mm-hmm. The experience is right. The connection is right. And the ability to do the investments for the people matters a great deal. You need a government that can invest on behalf of the people. Because whatever the government does, good or bad, affects the entirety of the people. So you need a focused leadership. If you don't get a focused leadership, inclusive of myself, will just go down and we'll keep complaining. And we don't want to complain anymore. Over the years, we've now found out that people don't trust their governments anymore. In fact, there's been so much distrust. And that's why you see that there's a lot of people who are now beginning to fight government. They're actually in disobedience to government regulations. They break laws. And that's because they no longer believe in their government. So I want to come and create that trust. I want to come and say, look, we are one. We can no longer begin to see ourselves as enemies. Yes. The people should see their government as their own and support their government to grow. But that's not the case as it is right now. If that were the case, we wouldn't have all the insecurity we have in our country today. So the motivation is that the man here sitting before you has the right mindset, And the right mindset must be someone who has the fear of God, because I want to put that first. A lot of us who say we want to come and govern our people do not even have anything called fear. We don't have conscience. A man who will come and just take everything and put to himself and his family alone is not worthy to live.
Thank you, Honorable. Because you look, let's take a look at Delta State. You're running for the governor of Delta State. Big state, all the resources. In fact, we'll look back to what has come into Delta State between 1999 and now, which will be looking better than Dubai. But look at the state of the state. Let me put it that way. And it's shameful. And what I see here among the political parties today, the ideology or all I see in their manifestos is still the same thing. I hear advancing, I hear the edge, I hear this. None of them really try to speak what I say is my mind, and that's what I want to ask you straight on. How are you going to create wealth? Because Delta State have all it takes. It's not because all the governors do this time, whether they call them governors, whether they are administrators, I don't know. Because they wait for money from Abuja, spend it, and they distribute it. So a good governor is somebody that can distribute the little one that is coming from Abuja. We hardly see a governor that have really invested in Delta State so that Delta State can begin to earn money. What's wrong with that?
Yes, Daddy Chris, I must tell you that until we start earning dollars or hard currency, we will never leave this poverty level that we are. So you need a government that can create wealth, not necessarily going to get allocation from the center and just sharing it. My son, who is in the secondary school, can even do better than most of these governors because they will have the fear and the freedom of mind to share the allocation equitably without taking for themselves.
Yes.
It is just simple arithmetic. But you need someone with an entrepreneurial capacity to be able to create wealth. And that's why I came up with my power agenda, which I know we'll discuss a bit here today.
Please.
The power agenda is so germane to our situation today that if we must get out of this situation that we are in, then we need a proper system that can, create enough wealth for everybody. Because if we are all comfortable, you will see that people will not need to fight themselves. It is because of this paucity and scarcity of the resources. Not just the scarcity. We have enough resources. Yes. It's because of the inability of the leaders to properly position and allocate these resources that has created all the problems that we have today. That's why the people say they don't believe their leaders. The way they collect their allocations and use it for themselves and their families will no longer work. And they are now revolting. And they're going to do that with their votes come 2023. Yeah.
Thank you, Olorogun. I'm going to come on to this power agenda. But let me look at this more critically. Because maybe sometimes I think very simple, and I want you to see whether you can put me in the right perspective. Hopefully you address some questions of the people that are looking tonight. Okay, I see myself as Delta State. Delta State is a land with a lot of land. We have enough land. We have a lot of resources. And we have human resources. So let's forget about the allocation. As a people, suppose there's no oil, no money coming from the federal level, wouldn't we survive? What I'm looking for that governor that will be telling us, sir, this is what I'm going to put to you. How are you going to make us survive with or without oil? Because the thing is, anybody you see today, the allocation is not evenly distributed.
Let me have my plaque from the world.
Do they work for the allocation? The answer is no. So my question is, how are you going to use our potential, which is the human resources, and the natural resources, which is the land, to give us food to eat? In those days, our forefathers would go with their children, they go to the farm, they will cultivate the land, and there's food for the community. But today, that is not the focus of our leaders, who are supposed to be the fighters of the state. So I think this is my little concern tonight, sir.
Yeah, because most of our leaders have just merely been spoon-fed by the system they met in 1999. Many of them, are used to just getting their location and sharing it among themselves and believe that that will just be the end of it. And nobody's questioning them. So if you need a private sector minded person with a mix of the mindset of helping the people to be able to come out with the right system. As I speak with you, I do a lot of business with China.
Okay.
Earlier last year, I exported Gary from Nigeria to China. There's a lot of black community in China.
Are you serious, sir? Gary in China. Okay.
Yes.
We'll be talking
Gary
about
to
UK.
China from here. When I did that, actually,
Sir,
my wife.
We have black community in China.
Yes, a huge black community in China. Wow. And they needed Gary. So what I did was I took just one container of Gary. I went to my community, Parabe and Oasis, and we started buying the Gary. We started when the basket of Gary was 3,007. By the time we finished buying one container, it had grown up to about 6,500 naira for the same basket. And since that time, the price has not come down. As a right-thinking person, I stopped the business. I made about $10,000 from that transaction when I exported the Gary. Upon that export...
Thank you. Are you hearing? $10,000 for a container of Gary to China. I know
yes.
You guys can't wait.
Upon that transaction, I got a contract to supply 100,000 metric tons of cassava chips to China. Now, that's a contract of $20 million every month. Now, $20 million every month by 12 months is about $240 million. If you look at the way the exchange rate has, been over the couple of months, that money, $240 million, may just equal the budget of Delta State. So I couldn't oblige them with the contract, because if I dare take cassava chips from Delta State, then I will invoke hunger on the people. I need about 15,000 hectares of land, which is about 15 kilometers square, to produce that quantity of cassava every month. So as a right-thinking Delta with the fear of God, and also thinking of the economic impact of that trade, not looking at myself, I put the contract on hold. So one of the motivations that I was going to tell you is that if you get me as governor of Delta State, I will not have to touch the allocation. Because if I get 15,000 hectares,
yes,
which of course, as the governor of the state and the custodian of all the land in Delta State, there are virgin land in Delta State. You need to go aerially. You need to fly over Delta, and you see that about a quarter of Delta is just being inhabited. More than 3/4 is still virgin. So 15,000 hectares is just a minute drop in the ocean that we can actually keep aside to fund Delta state budget. So what I'm saying is you need a private sector man, and it's not for government to do it. It is to get the indigenes and begin to create wealth in them. If you do holders conference and bring all these farmers together and allocate land to them out of the 15,000 hectares, you see that individuals will make 1 million, 2 million naira per season of about 8 months to 12 months every year. So we're going to have to create several millionaires. We're going to create millionaires by exporting. That's why I said earlier that we need to start earning hard currency. The more we start dealing in naira and we are not standardizing our goods for export, nothing will happen. We'll keep suffering. We'll keep going around the circle. And I dare say that all those who are coming out to say they want to run for governorship today, most of them have just been around the corridor of power, being pampered. They really don't know. They don't know the heat of production.
No. And I agree with you. Thank you so much. Because these are the kind of information that we need to have. And this is the kind of experience. When I got you the first time, one of those things, Betty Wright played a song. He said when he discovered the melody, he played it for his brother. When I said, you're not going to play this song, and I said, I cannot keep this myself. I have to share you to the rest of the world. You are welcome. Thank you. You're a blessing to us. Then I'm going to ask you, let's talk about your agenda, the power agenda. What is it about? Talk us.
Well, the power agenda is has to do with POWER, power. Okay. Don't mistake that to mean electricity. No, It doesn't mean electricity in any form.
Because one of our major
Yes, electricity will be part of it. But, you know, let me just quickly clear that issue of electricity. A lot of people say when we have power, everything will be solved. I don't believe in that. You can have all the power. Now that we have power, what are we going to do with it? Power can only be achievable when there is productivity, there is manufacturing. It is this productivity that will make you pay for power. If you don't have people who are working and have sufficient income to pay for power, it will never be sustainable. It can never be market driven. And that's why you have the discos, the gencos in Nigeria, they're all crying because the people are too poor to pay for light. And they need this light, so they have to find one way or the other to, you know, steal it. You know, I'm not saying it's right for them to go and steal electricity, but they want to survive. The best thing to do is solve the first problem, make them productive, create an avenue that will make people work and earn income. Once they're able to earn income, they can now pay for their electricity. So my power agenda starts with productivity. Productivity,
that's the P.
The P. Productivity is so easy for Delta State because, like you said, we have both natural and human resources. So the natural resources that we have, let's take gas, for instance, gas. Oil and gas, of course, we're just getting much of the oil. The gas itself, we're actually a gas haven. Delta State is a gas haven. Delta State houses 40% of the gas reserve of Nigeria. Nigeria is actually a gas haven as well. We have another close to 200 years of gas that we can still use in this country before we get out of gas, before we exhaust our gas resources. And that Delta State houses 40% of that. Like you have what is surviving Nigeria through the Olorogun. The Escravos Lagos pipeline takes gas from Escravos, from Chevron and Shell to Lagos. That is fueling the development of the industrial estates in Lagos. But Delta State, that where this gas is coming from, has no industry, not one industry. The only industry you have in Delta State are hotels, business centers.
Exactly.
This
that is the part. Shame. That is the surprising thing.
It's a big shame. There is no developed economy that can survive without production. So we need to have, with the resource, with the gas that we have, we can automatically turn Delta State around. We are not saying we are going to go into exploration of gas ourselves. All we need to do is create that environment to attract investors into that sector. Delta State government tried to do one recently. They paid counterpart funding of 20 billion naira to get 5% stake in a company exploring gas. And I say, why? That's not right. 20 billion is a lot of money in naira terms. The company that is going to explore that gas, I don't know how much they are bringing in to get 95%. So I query, and I think the government should look at it properly. If I come into government, I am very positive that I'm going to get companies that will give us at least 55% stake, like NNPC. We can even own 90%, yes, and give it to the people. Take it to the stock exchange. Let the people run it transparently. Now, once you have gas, this is what it does to your economy. Just like our gas has helped the French, Turkish, Spanish, and Italian economy. All the gas from the Nigerian liquefied natural gas is being exported. It's been signed off for the next 50 years. The first 25 years contract is over. That's why you see most of the equipment are even obsolete right now. That's why they're going to train 1, train 5, train 6, train 7, and all that. Our government has really not done well in terms of contractual, in terms of entering contracts with our oil. So as a state government, we will put into investment in oil. We're going to get people to invest in our gas resource. Now, when we have that, it means that the fuel that is needed, the fuel that is needed for production will be here. You will not have to take it outside the country, produce there, and bring back things to sell to yourselves and make life very unbearable for your people. No. Now, I have a good relationship with China. I just said that before because I do a lot of business with them. As I speak with you, I have this, I don't know if the camera can pick it very well. I am the country representative. Country representative of the Belt and Road Initiative of the Chinese government. The Belt and Road Initiative.
Yes. Wow.
The Belt and Road Initiative, I'll show it again maybe before we close. The Belt and Road Initiative of the Chinese government is a $4 trillion initiative of the Chinese government to create a supply chain between Europe and Africa, and I'm the country representative here. Now, a lot of the companies in China are now thinking of how to, outsource their production. As I speak with you, there is a province in China, I don't want to mention the name of that province here. That province is having about, the GDP of that province is $4.6 trillion. It is about larger than the GDP of Africa. Africa is just about 4.1 trillion. The GDP of the state, then a province like a state in China, is 4.6 trillion. Now, they have about 700 companies there that no longer meet their criteria for engagement. So those ones they want to relocate, and they are in heavy duty, they are within the heavy duty industry, they are also in cement and so many other sectors of manufacturing. I am already in talks with them that all they need, the fuel is here, we have it here. The human capital, the youth are here. So we are already negotiating minimum wage, and we are telling them that, look, minimum wage should not be anything lower than 100,000 for the cleaner in the factory. Yes. As we speak, we are already going into agreements to see that we get these industries here. So with the gas, they are going to just move their machines and set up here. So easy. So manufacturing is very key, and the driver is the fuel. The factors of production are key: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. I will be the entrepreneur here. I will be the one who is going to, put these other three factors together: land, labor, capital. As the governor, the owner, or the repository of the land, I'll be there to allocate it to the right sectors. The labor is there. When I go into education, I'll tell you the program we have for the labor itself, because we're looking at creating about 1 million jobs within the next 4 years. And these 1 million jobs, we are looking at setting up 4 large-scale industries. 4 large-scale industries in each of the local government areas. That will come up to about 100 large-scale industries. Now, what's my definition of large-scale industry? Large-scale industry is, an example of it would be DSC. DSC, before it got moribund, is a company that was housing well over 10,000 workers. They came with their estates, they came with their power plants, they came with their schools, they came with their hospitals. So now, these large-scale companies we are planning to bring here now, we are going to encourage to come here. They would come with almost everything they need. So they have even committed to us that they are going to have to spend about 1 billion yuan. 1 billion yuan, because that's one of the conditions. They are going to invest, apart from like the cement factory. I don't even turn this key on once, but they don't meet the regulatory requirement in China. And we are saying you must also invest about 1 billion yuan to be able to bring your factory here. And we are in talking terms. This is the kind of leadership we're talking about. You have to be in sync with what is going on in the world. You are not going to sit down in the comfort of Delta State in Asaba and you are rushing to Abuja, collect allocation, and the ring goes on like that. We are bringing investors from outside this country to come and invest here. So at that point, we'll have these 100 industries employing well over 1 million. In fact, we don't have the numbers
that will be needed.
that we needed. So we're going to be importing workers from neighboring states and elsewhere, maybe some other countries as well. So what am I saying here? We have gas. So I'm just picking on gas. I'm not taking on any other thing. We're not going to do too many things. Let's develop advanced infrastructure. Rather than export this gas to Europe to develop Europe, let's use our gas to develop Delta State. That is the point. That's where I am. That's what I stand for. That's what I'm going to do in the next 4 years. And it's not rocket science. It's not something that anybody cannot do. All it takes is just expertise.
You make it look so simple.
And the connection, sir. The connection. Most of these politicians don't have this connection that I have. They don't have it. I don't have to have all the millions, all the billions to throw around to have these connections.
Wow.
So in terms of productivity now, we will have all that. And now when these people are within that level of productivity, they will not have sufficient income. Like I said, minimum wage will be 100,000. In any of these factories we are signing on. Because before you come, we will sign you on. We are giving you political guarantee to come. The government will guarantee them to come. In other ways, we're also going to force production for some essential industries, like most of the household goods that we need, the drinks, the food industries. Some of those ones are local here. So we are going to force them to come because they won't come here ordinarily. They won't come to Delta because of the kind of decadence that we found ourselves, because of the insecurity within the system, the fear that the Dev boys have created will not make right. Even Nigerians will not come. Even Deltans don't even invest here. They carry their investment to Abuja, to Lagos, to Port Harcourt and all that. So we are going to have to force production, that the king. We are going to force production. How do you force production? You force it through franchise manufacturing. When you want to force production, you do it through a system called franchise manufacturing. For instance, if we want to have this beverage, let me not advertise them on your telly now. Let's say any of these beverage drinks. All I need to do is go to them and say, look, do you want to set up here? They will say no. I know that. So what I'll tell them is, okay, don't worry. What will it take for you to set up here? Some will say maybe $5 million. That's okay, don't worry. I'll give you the guarantee. This is $5 million guarantee.
Yes.
And up until this time, the GDP of Delta State, we are told, is 16 billion. That's the GDP. It's been like that for a long time. First thing I'll do is to rebase the GDP and see whether we're falling down or we're going up, or we've gone up. So if we have that, it's 16 billion GDP is enough for us to guarantee these companies to come. There is nobody in the world, a businessman, that will not come when you guarantee them.
Yes.
If you tell them, come, this is a guarantee, a fiscal guarantee that you can carry to your bank and your bank will fund you, they will come.
Yes.
I told the Ghana government this. They even called me to their meeting and I told them, look, this is what you can do to solve the problem of unemployment. But you know, they will not listen to you. So that's why I must be on the driver's seat to drive this kind of process. Yes. It's no longer talking and talking. We should have a person that can drive a knowledgeable system. That's one of the reasons I'm also coming. So productivity will give us the good life that we want. The people will earn, and the government will earn money. Imagine that you have 1 million workers. We're able to meet our target by the grace of God, because I still put God first. We're able to meet 1 million workers, and we're able to meet our target of 100 super companies, yes, large-scale industries. It means that on payee alone, pay as you earn alone, yes, Delta State is going to get over 60 billion naira monthly without going to the federal government for any allocation. So if you want to be a governor and you are right thinking, you don't need to think of stealing money. You don't have any reason to want to steal money. The reality is that the people are just not ready. They've never been ready. They've never been prepared for the roles they want to acquire. They just want the power. They don't know how to use it.
In fact, it's one thing to be a governor, and it's another thing to know who is a governor. That's the question I was going to ask at the end of the show. Who is a governor? And that's you telling us who a governor is.
The governor is the leader, is the one who drives the policies of the government. And you cannot do anything without the right policies. What are policies? Policies are decisions the government make or do not make. If you fail to make certain decisions, they become policies.
It's a policy.
And these policies can affect the generality of the people. Exactly. So at this point in time, you need a governor who is forward-thinking, that understands the problem. Most of the people who say they want to be governors today don't even understand the enormity of the problem. I left Lagos State and came to Delta State 8 years ago to understudy the problem of this state. And I've been doing that. So there is no part of the state that I do not know the type of industries they require and how to get them back on track. So productivity is essential. It will give the 24/7. We're going to have a 24/7 economy again. Not even just 24/7. We're going to have 3 shifts of 8 hours. Good. Worry goes blind or dead after 9 o'clock. Or by 10 o'clock, no fly again on the road.
Nothing.
Everybody goes to sleep. This is not the worry I grew up in. With these industries, people will have to go to work. They will have to do everything to, the economy will run itself. People will have to go to work even at night. So you will see that life will come back to our state once more. If the people are engaged, the insecurity that will make people go back to their homes and sleep will be wiped out. So I want to say that productivity is one area that will not take, in fact, that's the cardinal point. That's the main point of that's the main part of our agenda, productivity. We must get the state back to production. And we're just telling you how we're going to do it. Then within that same production, I know that there's a place called Ogidigben. In that place called Ogidigben, the federal government tried to set up an EPZ.
Okay.
And at that time, under Oduaga paid his counterpart fund of 60 billion naira. When I visited the place about under Jonathan about 10 years ago, I discovered that the state government built some bungalows and they cleared the place. Up until this time, that project, federal government could not fund. It's a $16.5 billion project. I know a lot of financing. I'm going to list that project. I'm going to use our gas resource and all that resources to guarantee that project and list it on the New York Stock Exchange so that we can get that project. That project alone is bigger than the Dangote refinery, and it's going to take about 500,000 workers out of the street. So we are targeting another 500,000 workers with the EPZ. Imagine $16.5 billion US coming to our economy of 16 billion. We are already targeting about 100 billion US before the end of 4 years. When I come to wealth, the area of wealth creation, I'll be able to explain this more. But the reality of what I'm saying here is that we will need to be productive for us to grow the economy. We need to create economic activity. We need to generate it. We need to enhance economic activity. It is the economic activities that will push development. If there is no economic activity, nothing will happen. Government cannot in itself develop a place. It's the people that will develop the place. If the people have earning power, if the earning power increases, you will start seeing new houses, you will start seeing new investments, you will start seeing new initiatives, you will start seeing new education, new innovation will come in. So we are very key. We are very aware of the fact that productivity will be very germane to our agenda, and we're going to pursue it vigorously. That's for productivity, if that's all right.
Yes, in fact, I don't know whether it's only me. Sometimes I'm trying to grab this in, and you make it so simple. You're proving it. It's like when you go to a school and the teacher begins to prove something. They say, "Hey, it is so." It is clear. Picture for your information. Your phone is mute. You guys can unmute it. I can control it from here. If you don't.
Okay, so let me go on. Let me go on the.
Yes, I'm still interested in the. I'm still very much interested in in this agenda, this how do I call it?
Productivity.
We talk about productivity now. Let us take a look at ZPOWER. You know, for information, if you're just joining us, we are privileged to be joined today by Olorogun Immanuel Edijala of the People Redemption Party. He's running for the office of Governor of Delta State. He just told us about his power agenda, and only on productivity alone, he has proven that Delta State can raise an enormous amount of money. I don't even know how to prove it. God bless you, sir. So please run us through the agenda. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of questions to answer, but just to let you know, you're speaking my mind, because what I don't understand is, how can we have this land? You know, that's how I think simple. There's the land, there's the people. Why can't we just plan? Now you make it look so simple, but in an advanced and in a more intelligent manner. So please, let's get the other agenda in place, sir.
Well, quite frankly, the O part of it is also as important as the P. The O is social order. Social order. Where
call it law and order.
Yes, law and order. You know, efficient justice delivery system. You know, for industries to strive, people must be comfortable with the justice system. If they do not believe in the justice system, but I was going with a friend yesterday, and I saw a piece of land in the middle of the city of Warri, as old as Warri itself. So I was asking, why is this place desolate? And they said they are in court for several years. You can have one land case for another 100 years. The people are there, the case is still on. My community and the neighboring community, they have one case. It has been there since I was born. So this shouldn't be. This shouldn't be. We must have legal systems that will take care of issues as quickly as possible. For people to have confidence to invest in your jurisdiction, they must see that, okay, if we get in there, the system will not see people partially. It will see everybody as they are and treat them equally. So it is the governor, it is the duty of the governor to lead by example. So we must have orderliness. So social order means that we must respect each and other's rights. We cannot say we are in a community and some have better rights than others. People will resist it. And that's the resistance we want to avoid. So social order, you respect anybody, you go on the queue, you stand by the queue, and that's the reason Buhari was voted in the first instance. People thought it was coming with war against indiscipline. So that everything, like if you come to Warri now, people drive against traffic the way they like. You can't try that in a state where I'm governor. You won't do that. You won't dare do that. I will carry you and the keke and give you the requisite punishment. Whether you are my brother, you are my son, you will pass through the system. So we need orderliness that can give us the right institutions. Whether you are there or not, the institutions will hold you to accountable, or will hold you accountable to your deeds. Anything you do, you'll pay for it. So social order is very essential. Like I said, the judicial system must align with social order, that everybody will work together. One of the laws that I will send to the House of Assembly, one of the first laws will be the Confiscation Order Act. I know a lot of people won't like this, but I will have to do it. You see, monies don't have wings, they don't fly. So those who are taking monies, putting their hands into the tilt to just carry public money and put in their pockets. Forensic audit to bring all of this out, and the monies will have to be recovered. We're not going to look at what EFCC is doing, because as a state, we can make laws for ourselves and follow up with this law. So if the monies are in America, Abuja, Lagos, if you get them illegally, we'll get them back. But that's not the focus. We are not going to distract ourselves. But along the line, we'll be able to, get all these things done rightly. We want to have a police state. A police state. A police state is not a state where you see police carrying guns on the road, battling people. You have a decent society where you don't even see police on the road. I will make it a point of duty that no policeman in my state or the state where I'm governor, Delta State, by the grace of God, will wear a uniform from his house to the police station. You will leave the police station you leave the uniform in your police station. We'll have people to dry clean it so that we don't feel the stench in whatever form. Now, ironed, you come back the next day and wear it. All these roadblocks and all that will no longer be there. All these roadblocks, we don't need them. Yes, there can be patrols. So we are going to align with the police. There's no two ways. We're going to align with the police. We are going to get some, people talk of state police. No, you can, within the ambit of the police, you can get them to do your bidding. All you need is the Ministry of Justice. No police can detain somebody beyond 48 hours. So if the Ministry of Justice are not alive to their responsibilities, of course, people rot away 6 months in detention. That shouldn't happen in a decent society. There are people who have come here genuinely to do business. At the end of the day, they get lost in prisons. You don't even have account of them. So we will do something very important. We will do persons and property identification. In the first 6 months of our administration, we will make sure that we identify every single person. We are going to use the artificial intelligence security system like has been deployed in Dubai. It's a simple system. Every single person that moves around, we have your identity. Whether you don't even know how we get it, you come to public school. If you commit a crime, Daddy King, if you're coming from the UK and you think you can just commit a crime and go back, you will not get back. We will get you. Within 5 minutes of commission of an offense, we'll be able to get you. Ask me how. I also lived in Germany myself. I worked in a Mercedes-Benz factory of about 45,000 workers. And at that time, I think I was 91, 92, I realized that the only difference between those countries and our country is data. So we're not going to be leading blindly anymore. We will spend 6 months gathering this data so that at the right time we'll deploy the data and curb every form of insecurity. That's the only way to curb insecurity. Data is intelligence. Data is intelligence. When people say they want intelligence, it's all about data.
Yes.
We will get all the data we need and we'll curb. Look, I've told people that we are going to deploy scanners into the major arteries to the state. One at Ubenu, another at Patani. These are scanners that you are moving through. We already know who you are. You know what you are carrying. Yes. After the amnesty that we're going to give for the first 6 months, if you have any gun, drop it. If you don't drop it, you cannot bring more in. You cannot take it out. And if you are caught, we will deal with you ruthlessly. I'm saying it in public telling now. Yes. We will deal with you ruthlessly. I have the mindset. I have the strength, the ability, the character to do it. You must be a leader that can lead by example. You cannot begin to promote thugs, and then at the end of the day, you want those thugs to go and lie low. They will come after you. In my campaign now, you don't see any thug. What I'm going to deploy in my campaign in another 1 or 2 weeks will let you know that I'm not just sleeping, but I will get back to that. That's a different discussion. So we would get data to manage affairs of the state, and by so doing, there'll be orderliness and system can work well. You can't have an orderly society where people are driving against traffic and nobody's doing anything about it. No, we'll do everything possible to have a sane society. Most of us have lived outside. It's not to say, okay, they travel outside. I lived outside. I know how the social security system works. I know how the tax system works. I know how the basic infrastructure works in Europe. I lived in Europe for about 10 years before I came back to set up here. I worked for one of the biggest shipping lines in the world, Grimaldi and Kobe Fred at the time. So I understand the workings. I know how all these things work. And this is what most of our leaders don't have. That is making them, let me use the word, fumble. And if we continue with the way they are going, we'll continue to have the same problem. So don't just say, oh, this man, where is he coming from? It's coming from a position of advantage. A position of advantage because he has seen, he knows, he understands, and he has been around here too. So I understand both systems. And so we're going to run a prismatic system. A prismatic system is the one that takes the traditional one and puts it with the modern one and merge both together. That's prismatic. So I'm going to do that as a gun. So on order, I think we all need orderliness to get going.
No, I agree with you, Honorable. You know what's funny thing, Olorogun, I think it's very important that maybe those people listening tonight, I wish I can't pray that we have a good governor in Delta State because this problem is easy to solve. I don't understand how you can govern a state where there is no law and order. People they don't obey. They just do things as they want because you have seen it. And there's security vote. What do they do with all this? People can't go to bed. You know there is hunger, but truth is bestowed. How can you live in a society where you don't have an identity? In fact, that you don't have an identity here is what threatens the government more than anything. But in Nigeria, people don't have identity. Delta State is something. I'm happy you talked about that. So we have two things from you now. Power is P for productivity. I think you heard detail what productivity means. In fact, many people go back and watch this, because this is more than a lecture. And number two, order. I hope we can get away with all this in a few hours, in 1 hour, 30 minutes. Go on, sir, so that we can rush it.
Okay, under the W, which is wealth creation, I came back to this country in 1996, knowing that a land of opportunity is a land where nothing works. And Nigeria being a place where nothing works, it was just so important. It was just so easy for me to key into the system. There are several opportunities in Nigeria. Everything you touch turns to gold. Anything. We have the population, and that population is very, very important to our development. So we will need to harness it. And that population is made up of more of women. The international benchmark puts it as at 1.1 to 1, the ratio of 1.1 to 1 in favor of the women, meaning that we have more women in that regard.
Okay.
So these women have been put in the back burner. When I say back burner now, they have been relegated to the back for too long. We need to bring them up so that we can unlock them towards productivity.
I agree.
So now for us to unlock these women, most of them, by the time they get 1 or 2 children, they are no longer productive. They have to start looking out for these children. When I go back to education, you will see where we are going to take these children from them, give them the right training so that we can free the women to also have their own lives, for them to earn income for themselves. Because we are looking for 1 million workers, and women have to constitute more of those. So we are thinking that we will get these women back to production and take the children away. I'm going to not take the children from them. Yes. The state should own these children, and the children should own the state.
Thank you.
Up until this time, we don't have people who believe in the state or Nigeria anymore. Everybody for himself, God for us all. That's what we have right now. That's true. If we have a situation where we're able to get these children back on track and train them properly, like we're going to do in education when I get there, you will see that women will now have enough capacity, and women have some kind of innate qualities. Women are very productive. If you want to go into large-scale manufacturing or labor-intensive manufacturing, it is women that will do it more. They are very subjective. They can follow directive and, follow through any instruction you give.
Okay, for the purpose of this,
so we are going to go into wealth creation without gender bias.
Yes.
By this, I mean also that every of the resources we are going to get from Abuja will be invested for our future generation.
Wonderful.
We are not going to take all the money from Abuja, maybe the first few months to stabilize the government. After that, every money we go into a trust fund. Let me explain this. Like Norway. Norway has more oil than we have here. But they don't touch the money from oil. It is the interest from the investment they make in oil that the citizens enjoy from. A year ago, the dividend was about $220,000 to every Norwegian. Now imagine that kind of money. Do they need to go and work? They only work because they need to exercise themselves. They don't need to work. They
Wait a
just need
minute.
to.
Olorogun, you're getting me excited. So, in other words, if the money coming to the Delta State can be invested, and that proceed is enough to actually run our life.
If we're using cassava to fund our budget,
yes,
and we actually right size, When I mean right size, you don't just carry 250,000 people and put in your civil service, all of them doing nothing. The kind of government I will run is such that most of them will migrate from public service to the private sector, because private sector will be giving them much more than what they will earn in public sector. So most of them will have to leave the public sector. Now, when that happens, there will be a lot of resources that will be freed for the state to invest. Then those who are also making their own money can now save. Right now, there is not enough for people to even save. How much do you want to save? Even if you save in Nigeria today, inflation will eat it up. The depreciation of the naira will take up all your earnings. Yes. That's why when we come in, we are going to rebase our economy, and I am going to benchmark it with an international currency of the choice of Delta people. If it's dollars, if it's yuan, depending on whichever country we're interested in, we will know how much our energy is worth. Because I will not be party to somebody who is producing today and the naira takes up all the sweat. The valuation of naira takes up all the sweat. I will not be party to that. So as a state, we are going to cut ourselves away from the vagaries of the galloping inflation of Nigeria. We are going to rate our production based on what's happening internationally. So if we're going to sell, one thing we're going to do is to standardize our production so that we can actually be in the international market. So unless we start earning dollars, I'll still keep saying, unless we start earning hard currency, we'll never move from where we are. So we're going to create wealth in this respect. We'll free the women up so that they can create wealth for themselves and their children. That's for wealth creation. It's so simple, but very technical as well. Now, we're going.
You know, because I know you. Oh my God, you should be a professor lecturing the Nigerian, lecturing us on the economy. I know, Madam, you want to ask questions. He's still trying to talk through all the power agenda.
No, let me just go through the education.
You can throw questions, Chief.
Let me just go through the education and the re-engineering, then we're done with.
Okay.
Now, can I go into education, please?
Go on, sir. Yes.
Good. So now, education, that's the bedrock. That's just the bedrock of our development. The major resource that we have is the human resource. And what has really gone wrong with our system is that over the years, we have lowered the standard. I attended a school called the Kakpamre in a local village in Ugele South before I went to government college for HSC. Now, this college puts everything that's inside of me today. I imbibe everything from that college, because at the time I went to school, this education level was standard. It was everywhere. You go to OC college, you go to SC college, everything was just at that standard. The teachers had the same standard. The boarding system had the same standard. I still wonder today how we had our 3 square meals in the boarding school with the meager boarding fee we're paying. I still wonder how the principals and the school system were able to organize themselves in a manner that we went through school and we are who we are today. We can stand tall anywhere in the world. Bring the folks, bring the rating companies, all of them, they will tell you that Nigerians, Deltans, stand tall anywhere they go to, especially those of my era. So where did we miss it? We missed it when, I think, under the free education policy of Ali, that's when everybody, just went into the school system. They left the farms, they left the manufacturing, they left the artisanship, and all went into the education system, and there were not enough teachers to teach them. So today, nobody used to go to private schools. There was a school called Delta Career at that time. Nobody would go there when the public schools were on. Now, everybody is going to Delta Career because that's the best school. In fact, I have 2 sons who graduated from there now. One of them had a first class in software engineering from American University of Nigeria, Yola.
Yes.
So that's one of the best schools in Delta State today. So people are now struggling to take their children to private school, which is abnormal to me, who went to public school. So what we want to do in education is to have a budgetary allocation of 30% of everything we have and push it into education. The primary area that money will go to will be the Montessori. That's where we say we want to unlock the women. When you give birth to your child, after 1 or 2 months or 3 months of maternity, we take the child from you, put them in proper school, daycare, well-trained daycare teachers who will take care of the children and begin to teach them integrity as a course. From that level, don't tell lies, don't steal, don't do this, and you will get this, and make them have another sense of belonging, because that's all I was taught when I was young. I still do that to my children, and I'm happy. I have 6 children, and they are doing well. I thank God that none of them is found wanting today. So we will train them at that level, up to the 6334 system, where they will get into the primary school. The primary school, where they will learn literacy and numeracy, is just for them to comprehend. We need them to be able to comprehend, to be able to use their brains to understand the logic of life. Then when we get them to the primary school, we will still see them through the junior secondary school and still be able to get them to do the numeracy and the literacy, for them to be also able to comprehend at higher levels. Now, my style is not to say everybody must go to the university. Everybody can go, but not everybody must go.
I like that.
The reason is this: we need a workforce. We are looking for 1 million people.
Yes.
We cannot get them immediately, so we want to do on-the-job training. So at the point where we get them to the junior secondary school, we are going to do an intelligence quotient test for them. I think they do what they call BESE at the time, Basic Education Certificate, for that junior school. We'll also do an intelligence quotient test for them. We'll now begin to look at them. The ones that are academically inclined, we'll push them to the senior secondary school. The ones that are not academically inclined, because I believe that everybody has a talent. Every human being created by God has a talent. So we are going to now take these ones that are not academically inclined, take them to the technical vocation.
Yes.
Not school this time. We are going to put them on the job. When I get to the last hour, you will see that we need to do a lot of infrastructure. This infrastructure needs people, a lot of people, and energetic for that matter. At the age of 15, that's the most energetic age of anybody. So we train them on the job and pay them. So our mentorship system must change. You are mentoring them to learn how to do things rightly. Let me also explain to you, when I was growing up as a small child, I actually ordinarily wanted to be a trailer driver. Yes, I lived in a compound where we had a driver who was driving a trailer. I was wondering, why would somebody just be driving that kind of big volume of that large kind of? I said I must be a trailer driver, until I think man got an accident and died. That's how I hated. That's when I started taking my academics much more seriously. You understand? So
Yes, sir.
I was also in Germany, and I was doing some part-time jobs, and I got to a place where I went to a recycling plant, and within a week, I didn't know how to drive when I left Nigeria. I went to UK. I went to Germany, to a town called Sindelfingen, a Mercedes-Benz plant, where we had 45,000. I was sent there on exchange from the University of Lagos. I attended the University of Lagos. So we went there, and that mentality of 45,000 people was still in my head. So I was now thinking that, look, okay, maybe when I get to the point of the tertiary, I'll be able to explain. But on this other part that I was trying to explain, we'll have to train these young men on the job, and even the old elderly people who have been ill-trained, all the ones that have been shunning out on university, who are half-baked, we'll now train them on the job, because we need 1 million people. That's our target. We need 1 million people.
So
we don't have enough hands right now as I speak to you. Because if anybody is coming to invest in Nigeria, he'll first of all look at what if I need 40,000 engineers, will I be able to get them? How will I get them? When Steve Jobs went to a town in China to set up a chip manufacturing company, the one that produces the Android and all the chip manufacturing company there, that's one of the largest factories in the world with 225,000 workers in a particular factory, bigger than Warri. That's the kind of development I'm looking at. When the American government was asking Steve Jobs, why are you taking this job to China? He said, look, Oga Barack, if I want to set up this factory here and I'm looking for 40 or 4,000 engineers, I will not find them in America. But if I go to China, I will find them. Now, China is a very competitive country in everything they do. Because of their population, they are trained to want to excel. That's the kind of thing we're bringing to our educational system. Everybody wants to excel. You know the family of foods where you come from. Go and excel. Don't bring bad name. That's what we're taught. These are the same kind of things we're going to bring back to our psyche, to our people here. Now, once we are through with that level, those who are academically able to get to the next level, we'll push them to the senior secondary school. And that's where we're going to give them incentives. Once you are there, we want to reintroduce the boarding system. Even though there's corporal punishment, I don't know if you ever went through the corporal punishment.
Oh my God! Oh my
we
God!
Enjoyed it.
Oh my God!
We enjoyed it.
Oh my God!
I want to relive those times in my life. Yes. We enjoyed it. Behind my buttocks there, there's a mark there that somebody flogged. Anytime I remember, I remember the mark. I say, yes, this is the sign of being stubborn in school.
So, put in my own till I laugh. Put in the laugh. If it doesn't laugh, you don't stop.
And I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. You can send inspectors to come and check. But that is very clear that shapes me. It made me very conscious that I had to live, or I have to live a righteous and simple life. And I did that until I went to the university. So we will now be able to get these people who are academically sound in a competitive environment. Not that everybody go into the secondary school. And now look at what is happening in our schools. All the examiners, the school authorities, the parents, they are all now buying results for their children. So I have a lot of work to do. I'm going to close most of these schools. Yes. I'm really going to close a lot of them. And a lot of people are going to go to jail, because you don't go and steal for your children. And that's the same mentality they carry to the public sector. They steal for their children, and they steal money they don't even need. So that culture has to stop. Examination is to get the best out of the person, not to go and steal. So parents who are doing that, you may not want to vote for me, but I don't care. I'm telling you what should happen. We need an ideal society. We need a society that will work for all of us. So now, for the tertiary, those of them who are academically inclined that will go into schools, we are just looking at two sectors. This government that I want to run, we look at just two sectors. We don't want to do too many things. Okay. We're looking at the medical health services and the digital sector of the economy, those two sectors. So we're going to push a lot of money into those sectors. We intend that we know that there are going to be health emergencies coming up here and there, no doubt. We're waiting for the next name, what they will call either COVID or whatever. It's coming, it's going to come. Up until now, we don't have facilities to, manage those kind of emergencies. So what we intend to do is that part of the 30% we're putting, most of it will go into medical health services. Now, we want to train about 25,000 medical doctors within the next 8 years. How do we want to achieve this? We have the Delta State University that has a medical school. We have general hospitals all across the local government areas, 25 of them. Now, we need to expand these general hospitals and turn them to teaching hospitals. In fact, we want to reenact the health insurance scheme, so much so that these doctors who are now working in the general hospitals will go to their private practice. We don't need them. You cannot have your private practice and then you are also earning government money. This is the corruption we are talking about. Go to your private service. Go and be like you are, in the UK, you are general practitioner. Go to your GP.
Yeah.
So the vulnerable ones, government will cater for them. We'll pay, like we say, we are welfareists. So I'm going to introduce welfareist capitalism. That's where production comes in. Yes. But in terms of welfareism, I'm going to pay for the vulnerable, the elderly, and those who are out of work. We'll pay their health insurance for them, because I also read insurance in my first degree, and I know that not everybody will fall sick at the same time. Yes. So we'll be able to use insurance to manage and get the best health services for our people. You don't need to go to a general hospital. You need to see the eyesore in our general hospitals. You just need to go to our general hospitals and see the eyesore there. You see a lot of people who come in there and they get come on, the light is a bit down. Come on, sorry. So sorry, I need to just get the light on. I think
we are with you. Light is okay.
It's okay by you there. Oh, okay. No, it's better for me here now. Okay, great. So we intend that these general hospitals will now be teaching hospitals where referral cases will be taken to, and much more modern procedures can take place. Imagine that we key into the world order where you can do operations, you can do all sorts of operations online. We are going to have to key to the world and get the best to help us run our health system. So much so that you won't have to see the congestions in general hospitals. And that's going to be a huge investment. Now, we're going to build facilities that will take at least 1,000 medical students in each of these general hospitals. If the space is not there, we'll expand the space for them, so that we'll be able to get 25,000 medical students in the next 8 years. This is the take from it. In 2019, Nigeria diaspora remittances was $25 billion from outside the country to Nigeria. That's the official figure. I'm not talking of the unofficial figures of people who send monies in kind and cash one way or the other into this country. Now, that same year, the budget of Nigeria was 25 billion, meaning that all the oil and all the ones they are stealing from Asuro, from Asaba, everywhere, still does not equate to the diaspora remittances. So nothing stops us from producing medical doctors, and we export. The world is going to need us.
Exactly.
We can export medical doctors all over the world.
We need them.
We need them. As of today, Nigeria has just 20,000 medical doctors, catering for well over 210, they say 220 million people. It's a major problem. It's already a major problem. So we go into where we know we are needed. Areas of relative advantage. Yes, we will train 25,000 medical doctors in the next 8 years. I have a son who is studying physiotherapy in Univen. Now, what happened? He got 303 in JAM, and the school said they couldn't take him because they can only train about a few of them that year. They don't have teachers to teach them. So he went for the A levels, made the best result again. They still said they couldn't take anybody that year for A levels. They had to move him to physiotherapy. The guy bleeds in his heart every day, and I say, young man, don't worry. We'll get there. Even if you finish physiotherapy, we can still take you back to the medical sciences. So we need medical doctors. So that's on one area. That's going to cost us so much. This infrastructure I'm talking about will be huge, and it's going to go across board to the 25 local government areas.
It's worth it.
Then we are going to go into the digital innovation space. the digital economy. That's one economy we are targeting another 100 billion, because that is the next vista for development. Today, we must all look out for where the world is going. We cannot sit back here and still do the old things we're doing and hope to develop. We need to get our people there. I have a son, he just graduated. He graduated first class from he's graduated in software, he's graduated as first class in software engineering. He's serving as we speak, but he has a company running, he has a wallet, a payment service bank.
Okay.
I don't even pay his work. I don't have workers, I pay as much as he pays. This somebody,
he's already an employer.
He has over 30 people under his employ, and his manager is being paid 300,000 naira. This is a young boy of just about 23. So if I can do it for my son, there's no reason why I can't do it for the people of Delta State. They are giving me so much, I must be able to do it for them. So this is an example of what I know. And it doesn't take much to train them. You don't have to get to the university to be able to go into this digital space. If you go to some of these plazas now and you see the innovation, you see what our youth are doing, just look at your children at home and see what they do with these gadgets. You will know that all you need is just small training. You just train them on these gadgets and they'll do wonders. So software engineering and programming, these are the areas the world is going to, and we must also align to it. So as a state government, we are investing also in the hardware. The hardware. We want to be the backbone of Africa when it comes to data mining. My son, with his wallet, houses his data in Germany, far away Germany. In Africa, it's only South Africa that has a data bank where they keep data. So most of these things we are talking about now, most of your storage, most of the things I'm talking from here now, they are not kept in Nigeria. The Nigeria Data Management Agency, or whatever they call it, NIMC or so, do not even have enough capacity to keep data here. So as Delta State, we are going to set up a data bank. A data bank that will be that will give us much more revenue than oil. We're going to set up data factories. There are some of these swamp areas who don't need too much work. We're going to get, because you need a place as big as Warri to set up a data center to have data. So we will be the backbone for Africa. That's an area we will push in so much. That's where I think we can raise about $100 billion in the next 4 years. That area we're going to invest massively. We don't want to take too much. We don't want to take too much on our hands. We just want to take some few sectors while also reorganizing the traditional sectors. The informal sector will bring them to the formal sector. The informal sector needs just a bit of training to get them to the formal sector, because everything we have today is informal. Half-baked people who have learned little or nothing trying to drive the system. So that's for education. We are very positive that if we pursue those two sectors, other sectors may follow, but those two
medical
will be set
and the digital bank.
Yes.
Digital banking.
Can I
call it digital banking, because it's quite interesting.
No. Yeah, digital data banking.
Yes. Okay. Wonderful.
Digital data banking, yes.
Wonderful.
So now let's go to R. The R is very, 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 very important. It is re-engineering of our roads.
This one is not important. We already, Olorogun, you have 1 hour, 30 minutes, you've taken it all, and I am not bored. So I don't have a choice. Go on, sir.
Yes.
Go on. But
We have re-engineering of our roads, our rail, and our rails and ports and other critical infrastructure. No economy can be developed without the supply chain, because you need to move the goods from the point of production to the market. And if the market is at a foreign land, you need to also be able to carry these goods to those foreign lands. Now, one of the problems I I had when I was exporting the same container of Gary to was that when I took the Gary from Warri, from the warehouse in Warri, it cost me 280,000 as at February last year to take the container to Lagos. Then between Lagos, we put it somewhere in Igomu. Then within Igomu, which is within the same Apapa area, it cost me 400 and about 20,000 naira to carry from Igomu to Apapa. That is from Apapa to Apapa. A distance of so I spent 420,000 naira to get it into the port. Now, this is another part of it. By the vessel that took the container to China charged me just $500. At that time, it was just about 200,000 naira to move the container from Lagos to China, which is another distance of about 30 days voyage or 60 days because we went to Abidjan before they started going to Shanghai. Now, it took 60 days for the container to get there for $500. So you begin to see that the supply chain is very critical. People are finding it difficult to do business here. That's why, as the country representative of the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative, which is one of the initiatives that will bring in the needed funding, the desired funding. Maybe I will scan it and send you privately so that you can.
If I had this,
so that you can publish it in your system. Yes. So that $4 trillion fund is going into roads, rail, and ports. Now, this is what can drive the economy. This is what we need those young men, the 15 years and above that I talked about. This is where we need them. I've identified Delta State to be a place where we have a huge maritime space. Lagos State does not have a maritime space at all. What it has is just like 1/10 or 1/20 of what we have in Delta State. We have a large span of maritime space. Now, what are we going to do with our maritime space? Vessels don't come to Delta State anymore. For a vessel to come to Delta State, you need to have what is called, you need to have a war risk insurance, which is about 200% of the value of what you want to insure. You need that for a vessel to come in here. So no vessel is ready to take its time to come, but that's not the reason vessels are not coming. The reason vessels are not coming to Delta State, the Warri ports, the Cocoa ports, and these other ports, the reason vessels are not coming as they ought to come, it's not even the channel that people say the channel is not deep. No, that's not it. Having run the maritime space for so long, I know the reason. One of the reasons is that the distance between Escravos and Warri, if you want to go with any of these big vessels, takes about 12 hours steaming time to get to Warri. A short distance, because you have to go through meandering creeks and all that to get to Warri. But for Lagos, from the breakwaters, from the offshore Lagos, you can see the port, and within 30 minutes, you get in there, you turn around your vessel, and you're out. So for Delta to become relevant, we need another port, and we need it as urgent as possible in Escravos. Now, when we have that port in Escravos, what it means basically is that the vessels will come in there, drop whatever they have. But we now need to connect Warri and Escravos with a road. And you need to have a lot of bridges to do that. So we are not going to do roads from Warri to Escravos. We're going to align it with bridges, with rail, so that we don't have to make the same mistake Lagos made. We are just like a state coming to redevelop itself. So we need to get the infrastructure right from the one. So we're going to get a dry port for dry cargo in Escravos. That will now make the Warri port, Cocoa port, Sapele port, if we can still revamp them, that will now make them to be container ports where we just go and dump containers and all that, because they're already there. We can't throw them away. Now, that's on one hand. So we were also going to have another one, oil and gas port. Because if you look at what Lagos has become, where they put cargoes, they put oil, the day the disaster will happen is going to be very devastating. In fact, it's going to be a catastrophe. So we don't want that. We're going to look at the Forcados Axis and also create a wet cargo port there. There is no reason why Delta State cannot get the right investment. We should have a Delta State oil corporation incorporated.
Okay.
When oil price went to as low as $20, we ought to have bought the oil from Shell, Chevron, and kept here, waiting for the price to go up. If we had a Delta State Petroleum Corporation, we can set it up. We are a government. The government should start seeing themselves as governments like the federal government and start doing things like the federal government. So we will also, like we have data bank, we're going to have oil bank where we're going to store a lot of our oil. So we're going to have tank farms where we're going to receive a lot of cargoes that will be self-sufficient in energy supply. There is no reason like this Christmas now they sell a liter of petrol for 300 naira, some places 250. If I come in as governor, we must sell at the price that will be most affordable to our people, and it will be there always. Because that kind of cooperation will make sure that we have everything that it takes, so we are not like a landlocked state that should now suffer like other places. So if anyone is saying this is what they are selling, all we need to do is just stop people from smuggling the product from Delta State. We'll make sure there's fuel sufficiency. So there's going to be a port there. And this same port will also link it by road and rail again to Warri and through the River Niger to Asaba. The essence of it is to open up that axis to Asaba. And of course, the southeast. Delta State is closer to the southwest, to the southeast, and to the north, more than any other state, not even River State, not even Cross River. Delta State is well positioned to develop Nigeria. So if we have a rail network that is well connected, you will see that the whole economic activities will divert from Lagos and come to Delta. Not by, when people say it is federal government, it's the Yorubas that don't want the ports to work, it's a lie, they don't know what they're saying. As a professional, I know I can change the narrative, I can make our ports functional again. I'm a professional, I'm an expert in shipping and the maritime sector. So I'm not afraid at all of how we can develop our state. So this is very essential that these folks will meet, they will meet international standards. We need, sorry, just quickly, we need to get infrastructure that can last another 50, 100 years. When I was in Germany, I saw bridges that have spaces for their children to also develop upon. Not like the kind of rail lines from Warri to Itakpe, one rail line in this age and time. We are going to be looking at several rail connections that we can do Itakpe, Warri in an hour. So these are the kind of things that we're going to bring on board. And in fact, we'll do well. I'm very positive I have the right mindset at this time, and I'm still strong enough to do it. I think I'll be able to do it at this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
OMG. You see, you make me to be proud that I'm an honorable man again. Yesterday, we had the pleasure to host Honorable Benibapa. Oh my God, but look at your depth of knowledge. How will I put this up? If anybody say we lack anything, that person is sick. All we have is within us. I think all we need is God to give us the right leaders to direct their affairs. And look at this. I don't know what to say anymore. I have nothing to say. So I'm going to allow the two people on the platform right now to say, I'm going to allow the lady to chip in first. Chip like this. Let's hear from you, and then we'll hear from Bishop. Quick one, because we really, I didn't know when to stop him. You know, when we talk about the power.
Interesting subject.
Yes.
Olorogun Immanuel.
Olorogun, your thing your camera is turned off again. Yeah, I'm going to remove him for now because his camera just turned the other way. So let's just wait for him to connect us back. All right. But you see, this is the kind of thing where once the camera is back, I'll bring him back on the screen. And it's quite interesting that when I ran into this guy the first time, it's not everything you take yourself. You need to bring it out so people can see. And I'm not personal. You know, these are talents that can help us, help our children and grow an economy. And they are there, you know, and that's the thing. I'm happy to introduce you to the rest of the world so the world can see, hey, listen, these guys are not really who they think that we are. We have human beings that can turn things around. And they are coming. They're coming. So, and before he comes back, Chief, what did you think? What do you think about what you've heard from this guy tonight?
Are you talking to me?
Yes. What do you think? What do you think? Yes, it's me. Bishop, unmute your phone, please. Thank you.
He has covered all important sections, and if he can put it in practice, and if they can vote for him, then we can see the Nigeria when we were young. Nigeria was very good. There were laws and orders.
Yes.
But I just pray they vote him.
That's and that is what we're doing.
Because what he's saying is very important. But having said that, there are a lot of people, because they take a lot of bribes, they're not going to see it that way. They're going to see that he wants to take food from their mouths.
Mm.
I'm very, very interested, because when he's talking about women, talking about education, that's where I want to come in. You know, that's where I want to come in.
Yes. You see, setting up. Yeah, it's going to come into that. And Bishop, before Olorogun comes back, you know, you've heard him loud and clear. You know, they give me hope. I don't know about you guys. I can see hope. I can see tomorrow. I can see future. You know, whatever happens, good will take over evil. It may take some time, but good will reign over evil. There's God in this world. He's looking, and he's looking for the right people to work with. And if it doesn't come out, we won't even know we have him. You know? So, Bishop, what do you have to say?
Rubowado, Honorable Chief Gladys, you see, the truth of the matter is this. You know, we are in a society where evil triumphs.
Yeah.
They celebrate evil. The bad guys today are the good guys. I made a comment. Every evil news is a breaking news. And every good news is no news. You see, if this guy will sit with every other governor or a candidate in Nigeria, I don't think anybody have the knowledge of what this guy have.
Yes.
But would they allow?
Bishop, this guy is scary.
Will they allow good to triumph over evil?
That's the problem.
Would they allow? Even with what he's saying now,
I would drop
even with what he's saying now, with ideas and everything he has now, some governors and presidents already are angry.
They're angry.
So, Honor Yotana, this is the problem.
Oh, society, I know right now.
When he was saying, I remember my days when I was in Okotiebo. How do we really manage there in the body? You take your tea in the morning, you come back to take maybe your beans and gari. In the evening, you come and take your eba and soup, and everybody will be fed. Everybody will go back to their dormitory. You sleep well, you enjoy well. But today, where are we? Look at the educational system now. The same thing, you see women giving birth in Europe to 2-3 months, their children in daycare, their mother go back to work.
Yes.
And we have the facility, we have the money here. But nobody cares.
Yes.
If the debate, all the rest governor candidate now, PDP, APC, Labour, if all of them can sit down, let this guy speak now, you will see some people who will be angry, they're looking for a way to terminate one another.
Yes. They not go get a chance for that talk safe.
What are you talking? Don't you witness the one of Kenneth Okonkwo of Labour? Well, on that interview, when he was talking, they had to switch off his camera.
Oh, you see, I didn't witness it.
You see, I'm gonna pay you, man.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, giving this guy room to exercise what he knows. You will see, and well, we just pray. We pray that it's time God give us good leaders.
What he's saying, that's a fact. That's why we came to
100%.
Yes, but are they going to give him chance? If he join now, I'll be join now. My God, Nigeria will change.
It's time Nigeria gets it right. It's time we forget about money. Money. Only have a pile of while your war. For how long we continue to your well.
You know? What's wrong with tech and technology? Oh my God.
Is the technology today? Without technology, you are nowhere. Look at Alajasti, condemn. Cocoa pot, condemn. Worry pot, condemn. Nobody is creative.
What about ATMP? Look at ATMP Saple.
Condemn. Up to now, the member would have Chief Gladys. What they take ATMP now? In relation to 40 years, 50 years ago. They are still in the water there. Do you know people come from Lagos now to come and steal those food?
Yes, I'm from
Saple. I'm
born and bred in Saple.
I also Saple now. They will come and steal those wood in Saple now, wrap them to Lagos.
Yeah.
And we are complaining there's no wood. For 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
No governor is coming with a productive idea. And look at what Edijala is saying now. You can see the mindset, the thinking, the focus, what he wants to do. But would they allow him?
Can I say what I want to say?
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm about to do.
Olorogun Immanuel, please listen to me, please.
Yes, madam.
When you were talking about women, talking about education, it really interests me. I'm part of that.
Thank you.
When I came to this country, my husband brought me to UK. And he gave me freedom. And I offered the opportunity to learn. So as I'm talking with you, what I said is very interesting. I was born 1961. So I decided to come and have education at my old age. So when I went to school here 20-something years ago, I finished as a chef. I was in class with 17 years old children. But I didn't have that awareness. I was scared. I didn't know the computer. And I said, you know what? I can't go further. I'm scared. My daughter said, Mom, you can do this thing. You are not the only mother that. I said, no, I don't go fit. I don't go fit. I go there embarrassed. So I didn't go. So 4 years ago, now I'm 50-something. I told when I started, I told my husband, I'm ready. I'm ready to have university education. And my husband said, Mama G, I trust you. When you want something, you get it. You have the awareness now. And I went to University of Suffolk. And at the first year, I struggled. And my daughter said, my eldest daughter, she's 40 now. She said, Mom, don't shy away or don't be scared. You can do this. There are a lot of resources in uni. And whatever you need help, come to me, I'll guide you. And after 2 years, and I said to myself, oh my God, I can do this. Yes. So this computer is simple like this.
Yes, very good.
Then I finished 4 years. I finished my education. I came up with 2 second-class hopper with honors. And I told my husband, this year, I said, I want to do my master's. My husband said, Mama G, your age don't go far. I said, I am ready. I don't understand. I'm just ready for this. I'm hungry for this. So when you were talking since, I said, oh my God, I need to ask you a question. Then when I tell friends and tell Urobo people, some of my friends, they will laugh at me. Mama G, you don't old now. What do you want to take education? I said, what I learned for 4 years, You won't believe it. The awareness I have now, I said, I will get PhD.
Mm.
I will get PhD. You know, so when you were talking about, I just pray they vote you. Because if you are a governor, I will leave everything in London. I will come to Nigeria and stay.
In fact, you are.
What you are talking about, impacting women and the education, as I'm talking to you now, I just submitted 4 assignments in my master's. I'm doing international marketing. And I just want to have a proper job. I just want to go there and say, you know what, I can do this. You robo women, you can do this. We don't know how to use our phone before. We're waiting for our children to come and tell us how to use phone. So that's when you be talking since I say, my God, this is the right person that just what I'm doing. This is the right person, you know? So I thank you. I thank you very much.
Madam,
what I want to say, Olorogun, I appreciate all you said. And the only advice I want to give is this. The education, the focus of productivity in the data state and the database, other the Kwakwera, 3 things you will take out. Expatiate, let the other be under your manifesto. You understand? Pick 3 things. Leave the rest, because the more you say them, people pick from them later, they will say it's from me. Keep the rest of that. All 3 key things.
Yes.
That's good.
Because
yes.
Your era, let the rest be under your manifesto. What you want to do, your focus, your ideas are in there. But these 3 things, others look at them. Yes. I pray God will guide you, God will protect you. You will not see evil. That people that matters you will speak to, they will listen to you. And the youth that will be mobilized to work with you, God will raise them. That even when they give them money, their conscience will not accept it.
Amen.
Because we hope on you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes. Now, I like to also let you know that I'm getting a lot of endorsements at this time, because I believe in issue-based campaigns. You know, it's not about wearing this vest everywhere, running about. Not about carnivals anymore. People want to know what you can do. As I speak with you, I'm already trying to design something that is going to appeal to the people. I believe that there should be price stability. The biggest problem we have right now is that the people cannot survive the hardship.
No.
So what I've decided to do is take an item. I've taken bread, for instance. I've realized that the cost of bread in Warri has grown so much, up to about 1,000, 1,100, 1,200. And people can no longer afford to buy bread. I don't want what happened in the Arab Spring to come up here, God forbid. So within the last 1 month, I went to the drawing board. I saw that I could actually get this bread to the tables of the people at 650 naira. So what I've done so far, I've set up a bakery in the last 4 weeks. That's to tell you the kind of things I want to do in a hurry. I've set up a bakery to process bread and sell to the people at 650, but not to be sold above 750, to give the margins, 100 naira margin to the vendors.
Yes.
That bread will be in the market in the next 2 weeks. And it's going to carry my face as well. So we're going to send this bread across the state. So you have an idea of what I want to do. I want to maintain price stability for the next 4 years. I want to keep bread at 650. Whether Nigeria is burning or not, that's not my business. I've been able to look out for some local materials to add to the wheat to keep the prices affordable. And this is one of the programs the federal government wants to run. So I'm the first now in Delta State to do the potato bread, which in fact we have test run it and it's going to make waves. So I'm just trying to let you know that I'm getting a lot of endorsements already. So the issue of whether this, and don't forget that I've been there, I've been in the system, I know the system, so nobody can even kill me. That's out of it. I don't do the kind of things they do, so I'm not afraid of them at all. But they can't also stop me, because this is an idea whose time has come. This is what our people need at this time. My own job now is to tell the people and let them buy into it. If they buy into it, they can go there and vote and nobody will stop them. I'm more confident in the electoral process right now than ever before. I did not contest 2 or 3 years, 2 or 3 times behind. I left from 2007, I left. But I've come back because I know this time is right. And with the support of people like you, the diaspora has a lot of influence on the people down here. All you need to do is tell your people down here that, look, you have somebody who has the same mindset as you have there, who has the experience and is able to deliver. And if you tell your people, they will also buy into it. I'm not into this because I want to carry the toga of a governor. No, I could do it privately for myself. Most of the businesses I'm talking about, I could actually do them for myself. But government has a lot of role to play. If government does not give the right incentive, the right policies, these things will not materialize. So that's why I'm into this. So I really appreciate your time and all the encouragement you have given. Madam, I think you are my mentor. You know, I also want to get a PhD. I'm trying to get one from Harvard too. I'm trying to do it. It's not something I can do online. So I'm going to shift that until after 8 years of my governorship. I will still go back and get a PhD. I know that. So I appreciate you, and I know that God will see you through. And the kind of women will look up to you. Like you said, we want you back in Delta State here as soon as possible. If we get into power, we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you to come in here, because you have a role to play to motivate women. Thank you. I'm not hearing them again.
You just have to put a good campaign. The Nigerian individuals, they need awareness.
Yes.
They need awareness. When you say, like when you were lecturing us about, they buy a certificate, they buy this.
Yes.
I don't experience it here, you know. Like a university graduate now, you go and ask that person a question. He doesn't know where to start.
That's correct.
Yes, he doesn't know where to start.
He doesn't.
You know, I went to Nigeria, so I want to do my birthday, 60th birthday. And I said, I need somebody that can sit with me and let me write my speech. I couldn't believe it. I just threw the paper in the corner. I said, sorry, I can do more than this. What type of rubbish is this? Yes. He's a lecturer at the university. So if you put on a good campaign and let them have awareness.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am going to try now to the last part of the broadcast. The people are waiting. They are ready to have 1 or 2 questions. The social media is flooded. For those of you just joining us, you can ask your questions and we will put it out to Olorogun to answer. And so you can test it, or you can join the conversation by calling in. The number is +44 7459 071747. Let me repeat that. +44 7459 071747. But right now I'm going to bring in Solomon. Yes, but I'm going to bring in Barrister Solomon to ask to weigh in on what he has heard so far. He's one of those learned men with us here. We don't see his face often. But Barrister, over to you, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me from where I'm talking from?
Loud and clear.
I want to. Oh, you know how to tell you? Rufus. Oh, Rufus. Oh, you can West Rufus. Oh, me joke my koke. Oh, get Mudiaka. Kasa wala job. Oh, you can Oh, Rufus, onye wike, we juru boko balo, oya wai holawi, oya wai wana, ebiko, eje bikuku, eje kumakubese, ne urubu balo, kide, o wai na gano asake wana, mi we Rufus, oga ne mudiake wesan, ururu, ama wado, rubume, kukuri. My very good brother and chief, Immanuel Edijala, we welcome you to this program. I have been salivating to talk with you, and I'm happy that Chris was able to give me this opportunity to talk with you. You have spoken so well. For the past 1 hour, I've been listening to you attentively, with rapt attention, without exaggeration. But however, let me ask you this. For your information, I am a barrister.
Yes.
I practice law, member of the Nigerian Bar Association.
Yes.
And advocate of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, all the way in West Africa. I want to welcome you to this program.
Thank you, sir.
I have just 2 questions to ask you. In my capacity, I want to ask this question. Now, Chief Immanuel Edijala, from your curriculum vitae,
yes,
you don't have any political experience or pedigree. You have never tested or appointed into a government office. Something tells me that why don't you just contest for a legislative position that will push Nigeria forward? Because you seem to be more abreast in more of the economical development, not only in Delta states, but in Nigeria in particular. That's the one part. The other part of it, let me put it to you very straightforwardly. You have been living outside the Nigeria offshore. You've been living overseas for the past 5 years. So how are you able to see Delta and understand the problems and yearnings of the people of Delta State? Don't you think you have been hired unknowingly to fight a fight that you cannot win?
Barrister, you want me to answer that? Okay, great. I've never left the shores of this country in the last 5 years. I said I've been in Warri. I left Lagos to settle down in Warri, and I've been here for 8 years. I hardly even go back to Lagos. I do everything in Warri. I want to learn about Delta, so I've never left the shores of Nigeria. Yes, I lived in Europe. I came back in 1996, and maybe travel once in a while, but I've never left Nigeria in the last 8 years. So that information is wrong. So nobody can hire me to start with. Then let me also let you know, maybe you came in late. I ran for governorship in 2003. That was a long time ago. All the people contesting today, apart from Chief Ogboru, they're all my younger brothers in this field. Most of them were either SS or EAs to Ibori and all that. I ran against Ibori at that time. So I am not new when you say political pedigree. 2007, I was the Labour Party governorship candidate. If you follow the debate that followed the annulment of that election in 2011, you will know that I was in the forefront. And in fact, the UPU sang the Robo anthem for me. And just the way they are saying that I'm one of those that Robo can look up to, that's what the UPU said to me under Aziza, that Meomo Robo Wonyoma. And I've always followed through in my life. I'm not a very loud person, and you don't need a loud person to get Nigeria or Delta State back on track. You just need a strategic person who knows what he's doing to get things done. I also had a small time within the political scene. I resigned from the Okowa government as a senior special assistant on conflict resolution and peace building just this January to contest. So that's to tell you that I even just took that appointment for the likes of the barrister who think that you must go to political office before you can become governor. I took that appointment just to see what's happening. There is all nonsense. If you read my resignation letter, you say it's all nonsense. We need to reorganize our society, and we don't need people who will talk others down. Everybody has his own inalienable rights. You are a barrister, so you know that I have a right to contest, and I have a right to.
Okay. Sorry, Chief.
Yes.
Chief. Yes, I can understand where you are coming from, and I want to thank you so much for that question, for the response. The thing is that if you remember very well, Chief, because time is not on our side.
Yes.
If you remember very well, if you are able to drive your mind back to the first interview you granted to this station, I was privileged to be part of it, though I did not speak, but I played it over and over again, and the facts are still dancing in my memory to this moment as I speak.
Yes.
You categorically told us that you have been away off Nigeria. That is not too long ago you came back to Nigeria, if you remember what you said. So if you are saying that you have never left Nigeria, it is a contradiction. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that.
Go and play back.
Allow you a breathing space.
Can I come in, my brother? Let me come in into that.
The information is there. Go and play it back. I've never left the.
Let me come into that. The survivability of the Yoruba nation as it stands, because we have suffered untold agonies, and because of this, we are all rallying around together, putting resources together to ensure that the Yoruba nation is resuscitated. And that is the only reason why I have decided to come to grace this particular question and answer section. Let me put it to you this way, Chief, before I let go of you very quickly.
Yes.
You have said the party you belong to, which is otherwise referred to as Welfareist Party. You also mentioned that the Talakawas, as you described it, that is a welfareist party. Now, in your own thinking, in your own information, your informative mind, without innuendo, would you think that Delta State is a failed state, or an egalitarian state, or even a shenanigan state? Thank you very much. Over to you.
If Nigeria is a failed state, as we are told, and all indices are saying that Nigeria is walking towards a failed state, then what is Delta? We are all components of the failed state system. So don't ask me a question that you already have an answer to. The leadership of our country has failed woefully. And that does not say we cannot have people who have the right mindset to get us out of the problem. And so if somebody is coming out to offer solutions in this kind of situation, you don't malign the person. You try to see the truth. You try to see the facts that we're saying. Bring any of them, those who say they want to get into this office. Bring them and let us put facts on the ground. Somebody was trying to say, I should just hold on to 3 and keep the rest. Everything I've said there, nobody can do them. Because I'm talking from the point of view of an expert, of somebody who has done so much, and I know what I am doing. I'm not a lawyer, so I cannot go to the Supreme Court to say anything there. That's not my area. And you don't need lawyers to run our country. You don't need the medical doctors to run our country. You need people, entrepreneurial-minded people, to run an economy that is spiraling down. That's where I come in. That's what I'm saying. I have the private sector mind and the public sector mind. Of course, you cannot tell me that I've never had an appointment before. So I've had one. and I've been contesting, and I have the right. And by the grace of God, the ordinary people on the street have resoundingly rejected the major political parties. If you don't know, go and find out now. Go on the streets of Delta State, they will tell you they don't want them. So if you say my party is not popular from the inference of what you're saying, I will tell you, go and find out from the streets. If you find out, you will now know that they are just looking for who will come up. And I'm calling you, people like you, I'm calling on Daddy Chris and the diaspora to throw up something new. These old people cannot do anything differently. They will keep on borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. So when you talk about failed states, the answer is there for you to decide. If we are borrowing so much to fund our budgets, and you still think that, these borrowings cannot be seen in tangible terms, then you have the answer to yourself.
Thank you. And I want to make this clear. This is a town hall meeting. It's getting exciting. People are free to ask whatever question they have. It is the essence of the meeting. And as we talk to one another here, we're going to get the facts clearer. All right. So let us take it as a very good step in the right direction.
It's barrister there. It's barrister there. Barrister.
From the point of knowledge, from the point of that you know what you're saying. And barrister came up and he asked some very disturbing questions, which is why we have this meeting. He asked a very simple question, which I really like to. He thought you don't have all the experience, but you've cleared that. And I think this is why we're here. And I do remember you only said you stayed in Germany. You've been in Nigeria.
Yes,
for quite a time.
yes, but Dr. Daddy Chris,
yes, sir.
Daddy.
Where we do?
Yes, Daddy Chris.
Yes, sir.
You have the recording because he's calling my integrity to question.
Oh.
Go through the interview we had and see if I said I just came back 5 years or I've left this country.
I was just talking about that. You only said you lived in Germany because you've been in the diaspora with me for some time. And you stayed.
He's a learned man, so anything he says, some people can take it seriously. So I need to clear it. My integrity is more important to me than myself.
Yes. No.
No. That one, it doesn't. It's not going on your integrity. You know, like what Daddy Chris said. Now we are in a town hall meeting. Every individual have their rights to throw questions.
Of course.
Don't take it personal.
Of course.
That's
I
what
agree
he
with you.
knows. It will take
that is what he took,
Nigeria
and
to
you have
come
cleared
to
that.
where
And
we
that's
want
what I
Nigeria
like.
to be. Yes.
So I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Don't worry. You know,
I think
even
this
if
is
you
good.
if you
It's very
said
good.
you have been
Hello, gentlemen. Hello.
You're jumping ahead, Barrister. I know I have to.
Hello.
Barrister, sir.
Sorry, can you give me just 1 minute, please?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. Chief Olorogun Immanuel Edijala.
Yes, sir.
I have got that point cleared. And the reason why I raised that was to be satisfied of the reasons behind your last comment. I am not cleared, and I put it to you that you have been in Nigeria all this while. You have not been in overseas for the past 8 years.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
My reserve apologies. If
Thank
that
you
has
very
not
much.
your person and your campaign strategies,
Thank
I
you.
wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Emmanuel Edijala, God bless you. You are an honorable son. God bless you, and God see you through. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you, sir.
Barrister, well spoken. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I know Barrister is a man with integrity. You see, this is the opportunity I pray to create for meetings of this mind, these beautiful people who can move the state to the next level. There can never be any problem between these two intellectuals that will move us. We are proud of you. Listen, Barrister is somebody you count about, and I'm counting on you. So we're going to move the state to the next level. Okay, I'm going to allow 2 more questions because we've gone way out of time today, but we will take it. It's one of those things. I thought we were going to be here for 1 hour, 30 minutes. We are now actually 2 hours more. Which is because of your wonderful presentation. That's why we're still taking it. So I'm going to put.
Daddy Chris, can I ask a question?
Okay, quick one. Quick. And the questions should be brief now And Barrister, make it brief so that we can jump because we really.
Can I have a question?
Yes.
No, Samson is going to ask, and then you go on, Samson.
Okay. Barrister, thank you very much. I've been listening to you from the beginning of this program, and I will tell Honorable Immanuel, my governor, you're already my governor inside my spirit.
Yay.
You said it all. That even the president of Nigeria did not even have that knowledge, apart from Peter Obi. He speaks like Peter Obi. You know the importance of people in life. You know the importance of men that wants to live life. You know the importance of future of the generation of Delta State. God will bless you. I have nothing to say, but I just want to ask a question concerning the Marine, because I fell in love with Marine, because my father was once working in Panapina as a chartered accountant in Panapina. And I love marine business. And my late uncle, Ambrose Igbesha, was one time the National Maritime Chairman.
Ambrose Igbesha was my good friend, NMA.
I want to ask, the river side of the state, concerning our seaport, you said it all, and the seaport you talked about, I really want to ask, how are you going to do it? These militants in the seaside are the problem that we have in the seashore of Delta State. Delta State is like Miami. When you develop that area, putting seaports in the area, development will take place, and there will be more industry going to the river area because it will be safer for industries in Delta State. How are you going to do it? And your campaign, sir, how are you going to work towards your campaign? That are the two questions I have for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You see, campaigns have become digital also. Yeah. The more people hear about it, you reach more people. Like what you say Obi is doing. Obi is reaching out to people with the right ideas. And that's what you can help me do. If this goes viral, and you create a spark, that spark will go around and help people hear what I have to say. I dare tell you that the campaigns are not issue-based at this time. And that's why you see a lot of movements. And these movements are not adding value. They go to these campaigns, they sing, they dance, they do carnivals, they go back home. They have not committed. I've given you targets here today of what I will do. I've told you how the economy will be in the next 4 years. I've said I'm targeting $100 billion in the next 4 years. These are things that are achievable. I've also told you I'm going to arrive at all of this. I'm not talking of those who are going to come and say they want to go to Abuja and just collect allocation. So on the issue that you're talking about, this militancy, I will not run a government where you have strong men. I will run a government that have strong institutions that can take care of the strong men. So if we give you the carrot and stick approach and you decide to misbehave, you get the stick. You get the stick. We can't run two governments in one particular place. So the militants will have to sit up. I told somebody that the issue of bunkering will be stopped. Reason is this. I get 13% derivation and allocation from the oil. Why do you steal it? For every barrel of oil you take, you're actually stealing from everybody within the state. So it's my duty to stop it. So in Delta State, I can guarantee you now, and I'm saying it clearly to the people of Delta State, that oil bunkering will stop. Whether you have militants or no militants, if you like, vote for me. If you like, don't vote for me. The right people of Delta State who are in majority will vote for me. It's our money that has been bunkered away. And the people who are even selling it locally are not enjoying it. It's some foreigners that are coming to carry this oil away. So we'll monitor NNPC, we'll monitor all the major IOCs, international oil companies, will monitor their production because we have a stake in it. All the previous state governors have never looked in that direction. They just go to Abuja and get whatever they like. I'm going to monitor the federal government within the state.
Thank you. You see, it's a very constructive way we are moving in the right direction. God bless you all. I'm really impressed. I'm going to take the questions now. It's a town hall meeting.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to go to the next person, please. Let us so I can achieve what I'm here tonight. Quickly, I'm going to take. Okay, Ishaku, are you there? I'm going to take Pastor Sonny. Two questions. Okay, Ishaku, let's hear from you quickly. Thank you.
Thank you, Olorogun Edijala. I've been listening to you from the beginning. You've spoken eloquently well, and you really touched my heart. I can see that you have the feeling. You really want to work for the people. But you know the situation of our people, and you know some of them, they are not educationally sound. And what I'm trying to, the question I'm only going to ask is that because of the way elections is being run in Nigeria, usage of talks and stuff to carry out election or electoral process to win election. I know it's going to be very difficult for you as an intellectual who's coming to the race. But the only question I'm going to ask now is that if you do not win this election, because we know there are many people in this way, if you do not win this election, with your exposure in China and all over the world, will you be able to work with the government of the day to attract investment to self-sustaining? If that is going to be the case, because that's just the only thing I'm going to ask.
Yes, you see, governance is not a do or die thing. It's you're offering service. So when people kill themselves about governance, it's because they don't understand the issues of politics. Politics does not say that I must force myself on the people. I'm only telling what I have to offer. If it's interesting to you, you give me the chance. I'm actually sacrificing my time, my family, and everything to give you the experience I've garnered over the years. So if you think that there's somebody else that can do better, go ahead and vote. Yes, elections are improving here. The beaver system is one of the reasons I'm contesting this time. The thuggery, the rigging will be heavily reduced. I'm very sure of that. I've been on ground, like I said, for 8 years in Delta State. So I know that the elections will be a lot more freer. They know too. Those who are used to rigging elections also know that they can no longer rig as usual. They now know that they have to, comply with certain procedures. It cannot be as before when they just manufacture votes the way they like. So I must get to those people. I must get to the right thinking people. I must get to the majority of the people. Those who are suffering, who are in majority right now, they are suffering. I must get to them. That's why I'm introducing things to let them know that, look, I can do it. If I can do it now, and I'm stabilizing bread for the next 4 years, why can't I do it in other sectors? Even rice. In fact, there's going to be an agency for inflation management and provision of essential commodities. In the season where you have tomatoes, you can buy a basket of tomatoes for as cheap as 2,500. In the off season, you get it for like 35,000. So why wouldn't the government go into active research and get our people to invest massively in that area so that the pricing would be, would sail through all through the year? Price stability is something I want to do. I want to ensure price stability. That's what we need the most right now, while curbing inflation and empowering the earnings of our people. That's just what I want to do, to stabilize our people. And there's nothing bad about it. It's all for the people to decide. It's not for an individual to say, no, you cannot go. Even they themselves know they cannot stop the right idea right now. As it stands, I'm also inviting them to a debate. If they think they can do it better, let us also come out. Yes, the debates may not do so much, but the West will be out there. Let the West go out there. Let us all carry the West out there and let us task ourselves. You will see that things will change. 2023 will not be as it used to be. You'll be surprised that the winner, and I hope I'm that person, the winner will surprise everybody.
Is maybe that the Chris this thing has gone?
It has gone off, yes.
Yes, so maybe it's doing it. Technology. When you stay longer, that's how it is.
Okay.
You know, I'm
So-
very interested though. I'm really,
Yes.
really interested.
Mm.
Why
I want
can't I
us-
go to my country and work? Why can't I go to my country and do something?
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
When you live here, you are in the airport, you are happy. But when you
Yeah.
get to Moritala, any airport in Nigeria, you're already scared. Why should I
The-
be scared in my country?
The temperature changes.
It changes. They are begging you money. You know, things just change. You are scared to take the road to where you're going. Then when
Yeah,
you
chief.
get to your own place, people that is living with you, you are partly scared of, you know, you don't trust them.
We will change all of this. You just need a decent leader. You need somebody who doesn't have a baggage on his head. You need somebody that can look at people in the face and tell them the truth. That's all you
Yes.
need. You saw the altercation I had with the lawyer just now. I felt my integrity was at stake. I couldn't have said something without knowing what I said. Then what am I a leader for? I needed to clear it.
It's good thing that he's still going to go and check
Check.
and come
Yes.
back and verify everything. This is what we
So-
call debate. We are not
That's,
debating.
that's my kind of person. I don't let
Yes.
things go by. I fight for my right and I fight for
Yes.
other people's rights.
You know, if we can get, I remember years ago, I don't know the president. Yeah, when you are waiting for bus, you're on the queue in Nigeria. Before you go to market, you make sure that your surrounding in your compound, you must clean it. The gutter is clean. They don't have those again. They
No,
don't have
no,
all these things again.
no.
So, and you come here, they all come here for holiday. Why don't you take what you see here and take it to your country?
No, they can't. They
All right.
can't. Coming on holiday is different.
Orogun,
Sir.
we are here. Please, sorry. We need to move faster. What I do is sometimes leave so that other people can be accommodated and we can give Orogun a better chance. We are getting towards the end of the broadcast. A lot of people still have questions to ask. I want us to be able to answer them. Yes, I couldn't even open the other WhatsApp group. I'm only talking to one of the group here now, and they are hungry. So I'm going to make it brief. Let us have them. Let's accommodate them before we move to the next level. To answer Ishaku's question, part of why he's here tonight is for us. If we buy into what he's saying, is to help to spread the news. It's something good that's going to come. In fact, Jesus Christ could not go to everywhere. At the point in time, he sent his disciples. Disciples later have more disciples and more disciples. So that's something I think we should all do by sharing these videos and sharing it. If you are really impressed, personally, I have never spoken with anybody that have the depth of knowledge and the conviction that I have heard of today. Maybe we need to have more about listen to the. In fact, when he talks about the medical experts sending out the data bank thing, please, and the productivity we talked about, and hey, these are things. I think we should go back to this video, to this broadcast, and allow. He talked for 1 hour 30 minutes, so it's quite a lot, and you cannot be guessing if you're.
He talked meaningful words that sparked my brain when he talked about the Delta Oil or Delta Petroleum Corporation or that oil bank. That is a great way of creating investment for Delta. This is one of the, because I'm a petroleum engineer, this is one thing I've been planning to do. That's what it just mentioned. That's a great idea.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Daddy Chris, give me my number. Let him talk with me. I would like to have the numbers of Chief and the petroleum engineer so we can develop on this this area.
So please go. I need help. I need to go to Nigeria to work. Please. Right. I need it.
Okay.
Let them impart to Robo women. They should impart on Robo women. We are backward. Please.
Quickly and straight to the point. Thank you, sir. Because Sonny, if you're not there, I'm going to.
It's muted.
Please, they should impart our mothers.
Can I go in?
It's going to be very brief, please, because we're getting towards the end of the broadcast. Speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Olorogun Immanuel Edijala. Some of his words I couldn't listen to Olorogun. Maybe some of his comments. I didn't do the time. But nevertheless, I have a question.
Yes.
My question is that, Olorogun, you can see what is happening to our Delta State, our geographical area, that all we eat in the Delta State are all imported from the northern part.
Yes,
and
sir.
our land is no longer productive. In agriculture, when you become the governor of Delta State, now, if by God's grace, if you are the governor of Delta State, what do you intend to do to revitalize our land and bring a system that will be able to give back to our own food? Because we have lost our original tomatoes. We have lost our yam. What we are eating now, none of our olden day food that we can eat again. What the system do you have in place to bring all these crops back?
Thank you.
Then,
a good question. Can we go on, Sonny?
number two.
Okay.
Number two question. Honorable Olorogun Immanuel, it's no longer a news to you, or you are strange to this. That Urhobo is the 5th tribe in Nigeria. Even it was the 4th, number 4 before. But when Jonathan came in, the German, he was able to gather the Ijaws and circle them and make them to be number 4. Urhobo is now number 5 in the entire nation. You can hear of Arewa Consultative Forum. You can hear of Afenefere of Yoruba, the 2nd. You can hear of Ohaneze, Indigbo, number 3. You can hear of Ijaw Consultative Forum. They promote their tribe, and they are well known in Nigeria, and they are well known in the world. They attend war cultural program in the world. The number 5, which is your tribe, is missing. How do you intend to bring Urhobo to the recognition of the nation back down to the world? How do you intend to use your office? Because the Yorubas, they use the office to betterment of their tribe. The Awusas, they cannot do without their tribe. They showcase their tribe. But Urhobo, even anyone that is in office, they will refuse to answer Urhobo when you greet them with Urhobo. Okay. How do you intend to use your office to promote Urhobo? God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me start with the Urhobo one before I move on to the one about crops. Now,
Olorogun, and 1 minute,
sir,
before you answer the question, sorry, sir, I want to just add a question which has been on the platform, which is in line with what you just about to answer. Is one boom notion, one forest coach, big man, we want to hear from you. He said, my question is, what is the take of the incoming governor on agriculture and reducing price of food items? So which
reducing price of what?
Food items.
Oh, okay, good.
All right. So I think you can then just
I can then take all together. Okay. On the issue of Urhobo, don't forget that this election is about the Urhobo nation. I do not think of any other nation right now within the Delta space that will be able to get the governorship because of the zoning system. But even after that, it puts Urhobo at the hem. So if an Urhobo governor is going to emerge, he's going to be governor for the whole of Delta, not an Urhobo governor. So the advantage is already there that you have a governor that's an Urhobo man, but necessarily not a governor of Urhobo. It's governor of everybody. So the best thing that kind of governor can do is to come out with the policies that can make everybody key into his government. Because if you start doing discriminatory government, they just start fighting you. They're supposed to fight you. So a government that can harness it, there is no part of Delta that does not have any resource. I want to harness everywhere. That's why I came up with the policy that we're going to have at least 4 large-scale industries in every local government. So that's not discriminatory. So Urhobos will have their fair share, and all others will have their fair share. And if we have that, then we'll have peace among ourselves. I want to promote peace in Delta. I do not want to have acrimonies. I do not want wars. We fought wars that were never necessary. We don't want those wars anymore. So I will just not talk about whether I will promote, because they already promoted if they elect me as their governor. But if you elect the wrong person that is going to create another division, create problem that will now create further problem, then you will malign the Robo Nation. And I will do so much to ensure that the Ohaneses, Igbos, which in our own case is the UPU, I would ensure that they are not politicized. The way the UPU is set up by the founding fathers, it wasn't meant to be politicized. But the last election saw a bit of politicians coming to take position. No politicians that are even in government were elected into the UPU. I question that. Quite frankly, I question that. The way and manner the UPU is delving into politics is not right. I have a meeting with the President General, the new one, I think tomorrow. I'm meeting him tomorrow, and I'm going to air my mind to him. He has to be wary of political migrants in the UPU. He has to sit up, he has to be apolitical. And if there are politicians there, they should be weeded out. In fact, an extraordinary meeting should be called to remove those politicians, and we know them. We know many of them who are politicians who are just recently. In fact, that election was like between PDP and APC. The two government candidates they were there in that election, ensuring that there are people who want positions there. And some of them are still serving members of this government. So, in fact, I do not think that we want a UPU that will further polarize itself. So as a governor, I will take away those kind of politicization of our heritage. UPU is our heritage and should be treated as such. Everybody should give the new president encouragement. So we don't have the protracted system problems we've had in the recent past. That's for that. In terms of agriculture, in terms of the crops have not left. They are still there. What left is that the people change their lifestyles. No young man now wants to go and do farming with hoe and cutlass. The land is still, in fact, if you look at the fallow land now, over the years, they are even much more fertile than they used to be before. Throw corn anywhere, just throw anywhere, it grows. We're blessed, we're actually blessed. So it's not the issue of land now, it's the issue of the people leaving their traditional space to learn other things. So now what we need to do is to take this space back, which is why I said we'll go into large-scale agriculture. We're not, when you look at a farm of 15,000 hectares, like you that in Europe, you can see, in fact, when you see between cities, you just see farms. And these are very beautiful scenes. So there's nothing stopping us. So we must go into mechanized farming. This is the only thing that can attract our youth back. That's why we need that junior secondary school. We need them very seriously. They are the ones, you can train people how to drive tractors in weeks, and they'll be up and doing again. So we need to go into large-scale production. We have said that before, and that's the way to go. So the issue of going back to plant pepper, you can do that as a vocation by your kitchen or anywhere around your building, but not to take it as economic crop. So that would be that. So in terms of agriculture, every industry is based on the raw materials, both solid materials like solid minerals and agricultural products. So our industrialization will be based on agricultural inputs and the solid minerals, which we have neighboring states like Edo, Kogi, Nasarawa. They all have all of these. So the rail link will make us become the industrial hub of Nigeria. We are going to be the industrial hub anyway.
Thank you. Olorogun, you are just a blessing, and I know we're getting that. One question I will want to ask later will be, as you talk, please tell us how we can come into your campaign, because we are not here, especially those of us in the diaspora, and many people are home. This is a town hall meeting, is virtual, so people are joining from all over the places, all over the world, but so are some people joining from home. So it's not we've listened to your manifestos, and I think many of us are impressed. The question is, how can we help you, and so that you can in turn help us? Because that is
the way you can help is to take one decision the way Chief. I take about 2 times to remember names. Madam, what's the name again, please?
Okay.
Mrs.
Gladys.
Mrs. Gladys. Chief Mrs.
Yes,
Gladys.
Gladys.
The way Chief Mrs. Gladys has taken the way she has taken a decision to come back to Delta is very profound. That home is home. Now, that she can start immediately by talking to her relatives and telling them, look, there is a new wave that is coming. Social media will do the magic. Social media will do the magic. Let's just help to share all of this. Let's share these ideas. And it's not, the space is open for everybody. My opponents also share their own. Let them share their own and tell people, these things I've said here, these are practical things that I can do. That's why I'm not afraid of saying them. Yes. And they cannot also do them. If you like,
can you do it? No, the question is, if it's not from them, they can't do it. You can't give what you don't have. You cannot give what you don't have.
So just, if the need comes to mobilize your people, mobilize them. Because to do election, there's a lot of mobilization. I know that. That's why I'm using very small resources to reach out to more people. I'm going to get my bread to every table in the state, every home. So my picture is going to be in every home very soon. Okay. Those are my ways, and they cannot go and do bakeries again. So if they want to copy, they cannot copy.
I will be ready.
So, and the bread is so delicious.
My suggestion is that because like what Daddy Chris is saying, how do we get to people? How do we get your campaign to people? For me, in private, let Daddy Chris interview you just alone. So that you can demonstrate. You can even bring in the bread as a demonstration in the background. Yes. You can come up with a lot of things that you are saying. You can demonstrate it. That one we can send through social media.
Yes, good.
Let people, you don't have to waste time, so that people can look at it and say, oh my God, where has this man been?
And I think, Chief, I think anybody that listens to this message today, the whole message is clear. If we do more is always merrier. But what this broadcast has done, I think the message are contained in this.
Yes.
And the bombarding of the questions we're getting helps to actually enforce the journey. I'm going to quickly go on. Please, sorry. I have got me to bring it, and I'm going to get you first. I will be kind to allow everybody to speak. Don't worry. Got me quickly, and then we'll get you first. Then we can let Olorogun rest. It's been more than 2 hours now on this book. It's 2 hours, 30 minutes already, to be honest. More than. So we shouldn't be doing 3 hours program on the town hall. Got me quickly. Wado?
Orobomena. Because program Nana occurring most of the politicians, I commit to the development of Delta State Kubodorubo. Because what did know or by Rejo I did with Tino. I bet about the program a manifesto, I bet about a Kurai of Koya Jenny. The only bit, okay, I got my context. I be 30,000 years for every local. Koya Wokiko, that aside. I question Era, I'm going on Era, I'm going on. It is an or the other one, dear Kame, Kene Kwame. Woke say, where? No toward data. And I told Miss Elu, meditating program Era. Or Miss Elu, Waku on a being your program Era. Or a question of there you say Ru Wokurubu Sinurubu benefit from natural oil or koto. Oh, number one question. Then number two, there you say Ru only of a metal tabone Otorubu a Wikwafa Koyaria Urubu do you say Ru? Or there no say also encourage a malady. Sine, I will have what I will be benefit if we produce notoriety. Then number 3, and then water is life. Do you see what I miss a total rubuna or Jane or Jay or Jemo Yavi or Nade Watumu who report over you or Nade Watumu wherever you who report over you. Do you see what Ojane also provide that be? Wokoto rubation equation in Ramebono.
Thank you.
We're Kobiru Gaga. Jimmy came more amen of your time because over report UN right Siri Tane area red soup rite abraka rugun reshu bugele nemerana on a freshwater reserve rakona the freshwater basin rakona or everywhere auto rubu Oinjo Marwe to Priva area now on top of Dovre every robovori. At the time I can here Amenovo. I can okay. HFU Marco Ramen as I wrote as a sport ramena. You go kenore of fre you go kene everywhere. So amen. Oje uron owa gankurobo asokina wana adetaneke ekirwe pipe borne water the vrai urobo ige devi nwere mu bon yaga na okeje seru konya onya jobo ti ona tanoke ejibo hote asanejobi because what can ton Poboto Gaganta and make it to Ubo or Obe ino to where added to Mare 1,000 feet stack is Amrame. So on your organ or cocoa, Biji when tane Amena. Kroba Wanje was a regasna runa. Amena. I might give you Bob. I can see companies gramming Nestle. Really, I invest in Brown. I did invest in Brown. Roboka Jerry is Iran. So it's Oramena is very important. I might give you my but pipe born after I keep pipe is cities Ramaike Runa, but I might give new cities. Industries na rekana is cities right. So cities yena Ramaike Runa Reka Umaviana in Naya Casa planning. So in Aka River Marine, because as a connect river, maybe gas, they are going to be modern cities. For Kotuena, as a connect rain, but for these other old cities, I read about urban renewal. Did it? Kakama Pony Jobi, thank is a ruina. Remember Hike Ruina. Remember Hike Ruina. If I compensation, very far. Remember Hike Ruina. On your coral me. Otare. Make bona vegeta juretane o foritane a mechanize re o bore re kara agwara mara okay nana so mechanization yin run kese rubio e mo ko bi kese me opian tana ike run apagwa e be gole ru ti en ru fa meji golo kan bo golo ko obrega nwe bo golo ko ma nwe wo ko obrega so mechanized farming oyo bo mi hio bo bio tane eke rubo ke urobo then kideke turobo meje tajo tane e companies enne o ka pe local governments bo akere Hubie for instance Hubie na a refinery na e worry na federal government here na all the when we have in the last 20 years bukuchi o wan na all the san we are America we federal government that share kawan we want say co refining engine I would na engine eje gboro to tonu re but I been on if I von kere tank farms pipeline very far inventive ekmana igorode. So am I this are home federal government man bid diviona edi bid run the botano ke $1 billion am I ka go na oka can I come equipment say refinery every na movie edi mobionu then and yet an refinery or Pori Delta. Because federal government is a rule na ekiji Delta hobio. So oil now eco. So ekman bone. And then yetane petrochemical na over they will wear plastics we boom. So I give it petrochemical plants is very pana we very ubiana because I wear carbon black. This is produced with very every na right kirina. Then I give fertilizer that is on the bravery now. So on a joy or a cobo so a company saying could be data bank na America gola san rode rekevie data bank na bio. So na bungaga iwo buna odemetane me ovoke na eniro rekoloka anyo vokoloka na obi China meta na ema and obona I been on time right offer you bone na ko inoko waka so I can mind rubone. So there's nothing wrong in that. In kino ramiro tane as that avio rubona be wa kan say I hotel but be not gonna make that. So man akere starting at
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, I'm going to take 2 questions, and anybody that has been trying to call, I will try and take 1 call from outside. But I'm going to let Rufus quickly weigh in your question.
I am so privileged. I'm so proud to be an Orogun man, having you here. First of all, God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you,
God
sir.
bless you for your wisdom, for your knowledge, for your natural knowledge that God has given to you. That has proven that God has blessed us with people, not even just resources alone. We have the people, we have the resources, because the people are the resources, not even the resources you have. God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, I forget. Is seaport na to tapa na ogboni seaport na dogbono today. Like lest I forget, there are to what I know there deep secret concerning seaport. Keep my also revive this seaport to live with data state and in the next 4 years. How are you going to be able to achieve that? That's my question.
Ego on the job be what the ego no problem of a bureau. Me touch on a corner. Chinese Belt and Road Initiative now on $4 trillion. I work a lot where the fund is for both port, road, and rail infrastructure. So, and when I worry now, the province of Orobe, China, me go then I say corner because I want to table. And I want to tell now, I cannot talk now as a state government, but major every government. But I want to be behind growing. I want to tell that I made this already. I can't you bone. So I want to talk to Mama in China, the province in a GDP rate to 4.6 trillion. I can report now the escravo. So you go to I ain't go now. Then can I export no be China? It that akanyoka. Kuno ni China no be China ka. It that akanyoka. Then okay, ni Nigeria go be China. Import na Koji naira. Can I give you Korama view? A courage ka collaboration on your tap pahana. On area many gaga. Okuro kese ruo okuro ni oborin sa ma we ekire uhiere on kese ruo. Ye ti mi di we megba ekpare ki uhie na be miere gaga.
Thank you. In fact, and I'm happy that the endorsement is there. You see, most of these things, perhaps that's what Isakure was trying to ask. If we have all these powerful human resources, When paid today,
Bless you, sir.
is how I can coordinate them
God
for
bless
the
you.
benefit of Olorogun Nation. I'm going to take one call from Italy. And
human resources.
Charity, put your phone very controlling because I'm giving you a chance to ask a question quickly. Hello, Charity.
Leave us up.
We can hear your loud voice.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey,
ask your question quickly.
Okay, happy Christmas, sir. Happy Christmas, sir.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, what about me?
There's a background noise on your phone. Hey, but your phone is speaking out loud. Okay, back on the question where I think Olorogun will hear you. Go on. I know.
Okay. Those are.
Yes, sir. Yes, my daughter.
Do.
Brother, right now, no good night. It's not a but voter now, the voter after what upon the comment, the comment that we do, voter in our trying to eat by support. Voter in a young man. Voter no support to first covers.
Ejo wonyote.
No, Ejo in a dushota, kakaka. In a dushota.
One day.
Oh, in a dushota. But a rapper where data station. One something, quality, orienting.
Comparative advantage.
No extra but we to be worried now. For my 12 hours when I want here now of it danger. So I want to come here of you now than it is a port of best cravos. A conade report I do my view. I did my view, boy, escravos. A moto very railway can be main on the job to be worried or sapele. A port with sapele and a close range of in Navy base 18, run for 18. Coco na 18 and close run for 18. So code veteran baby report of 18 or error. So Oborese Uru as a revamp Prasana or make back when as a professional. So that to very morning robo. Abola Urubunana about for review. Will be reporter via Sare, Kokare, I carry. What can just our first line? Investment roll call, investment roll day. So a quick say invest you, boy, can say oh sire on me for winner. But what you return on a ruin when there's nothing I can do about it. This is just what is right. Some decisions are difficult, but you have to take them for the benefit of everybody anyway. And now a Korekana. A Korekana, a Korevri, a Korevri, a Korevri tete, and say Poboin.
Because of boys, sister Natana, or one on a robo by Ebelfa.
Okay, say more on Robo pass off. A Konarekana, what they call international trade rule. You have to get vessels as large, they call them very large vessels.
Yes.
50,000 metric tons, 100,000 metric tons, even wheat na at the bottom. Ereki warating it, no more than a vessel of 20,000 metric tons.
Okay.
It's not cost effective.
So the river has to be very deep.
When you carry 100,000 metric tons, the freight becomes cheaper. It will land here cheaper. That's why we need to put it in a place the vessel can get to. You cannot cross the bar, the Escravos bar. You cannot cross it with a vessel of 40,000, 50,000 metric tons. No, you cannot. So for us to be competitive, we have to put it at the place. It's supposed to be a deep sea port, but because that city is by the sea, we put it there. That's why I say we are going to run a government that is not discriminatory. What is good for the state is what we are going to stand by. I don't care whose us is God.
Okay. Olorogun, in fact, I'm trying to manage the time. I'm trying to cut it. I just couldn't, but we are 3 minutes to the end of the broadcast. Thank you so much. In fact, what I want to say is this, and I want to read the last comment. You might not like this, Olorogun, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to read it. He said, even though if he doesn't win this governorship election, that's not what we want. We are going to donate him to the next government on behalf of Urhobo Nation to help us develop the idea for the betterment of Urhobo Nation.
Thank you.
You know, one of the things I'm worried about, how do I manage this talent? I know them. How do they come together for the progress of Urhobo Nation? You have somebody like this in government. You know you are saying. I met a couple of other ones like Roman. I know you guys can lift us.
These are well thought out. Daddy Chris, these are well thought out ideas born out of experience.
Yes.
They are not just manufactured, they're not textbook experience. That's why I can mention places. That's why I can say this is how we're going to network our state. We cannot live in isolation as robots. No. If anybody comes to tell you behind, there's not little robots listening to this video, and this video will go viral. I'm not here to massage our ego. The truth of the matter is we must develop Delta State for us to live as a people. I grew up in Warri when I was attending secondary school. I didn't know who Anishekiriman was, who Anisoko Ijo. We live together as one. So I'm going to set up a government that will abolish discrimination because of the policies that we have in place. In fact, Warri should be a cosmopolitan city. All this nonsense that we see everywhere, we're going to stop most of them. In fact, at some point, people will begin to see Delta State as the ideal Nigeria. If we can get Delta State right, then we can get Nigeria right. So I want us to have that in mind. And whatever I've said here today is for the interest and benefit of Delta State.
He said, I just want to say this to you. Kevin is saying that the gentleman is a university to study. I swear. All right? That is in fact, there cannot be a better place. There cannot be a better full stop to today's broadcast more than this. This gentleman before you is a university to study. I cannot say
I'm flattered.
Well, that is where we're going to say, let's go to the broadcast to an end. Please share this video. And we're going to raise it's 3 hours broadcast. This is 3 hours. You can imagine how difficult it is. But we're not tired.
Women, they should give us chance.
Chief Mrs. Gladys, you are as resilient as myself.
Yes,
you are as resilient as myself. And of course, Daddy Chris, I hope you are not going to be attacked because you appear to be supporting every of my views. I thought you would hit me. I was waiting for you to hit me hard.
No, when something is good, it's good. Like the gentleman said it all. This gentleman is a university to study. I'm not the one saying it. And so if it's right, it's right. I don't know whether anybody can come out and genuinely attack this.
They should give us robo women. They should give us chance to explore.
We will. In terms of governance,
lot of intelligent robo women, so they should give us chance.
Madam Gladys, I can assure you that you get it. You get it right, and we will get it right. We'll get it right. You will be there to still get it right. No problem.
Amen.
Thank you. The only one woman. She's the only woman on this WhatsApp group. I know she has a question. She's calling. She's all the way from Germany. It would be unfair not to give her a chance. But if it's not going to ask her, Igo, are you there? Igo? Then I'll give you 1 minute. 1 minute. Let's hear your voice quickly before I run away. Igbo, waiting. Because Gladys will say we are discriminating women. No.
Yes, sir. Olorogun, I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank God for everything. Oh, you have said it all. Like what our brother just said, that if you didn't win the election, we should find a way to bring you in so we can cooperate with you, so we can exploit some part of Urobo. So I really appreciate it. I hope you win. If you didn't win, we will still bring you on board so we can cooperate with you in the process of Urobo to negotiate some part. May God bless you.
Thank you. I'm honored. Truly honored. I'm truly honored. I'm truly honored.
We do, because it will be easier if he gets the right office and so that he can do the work. That is being on top. His contacts, his relationship. We're talking of somebody with a vast experience, with a lot of contacts. Now, and he's talking. If you say it, he's not thinking it. No, he's coming from him.
They talk for the experience.
And that is the thing I go for. It's not the rhetoric. Somebody spoke from the center. That's what I saw tonight. And I hope those of you that watch this program now and watch it later, we go back and actually listen to some of these key points. I've never heard of the digital data bank. What a unique idea. It has never been. In fact, I've never heard any. Nigeria is not even thinking in this direction.
Experience. Best teacher.
God bless you. And these are things. And when you talk about exporting talent to Europe, in the UK, all our GPs, they are Indians. That's where I am. My doctor is an Indian man. You don't see very few. The few ones we have here, they are nurses. Okara, they are the black people. It has to change. Let us take all what belongs to us. The UK need it. It's so wrong to say that the British government are discriminating. No. In fact, you know what they do? They will give you visa to come and live here. And it's highly migrant. Kind of ball when worried. They don't want you to go. Do you know what is currently going on? Thinking in this direction. The British government at the moment, if you have to come here to come and study, what's in my way, you will contribute to society. So, and you thinking along this line, you're preparing things for export. You must not prepare only goods for export. You can prepare human beings for export. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you so much. It's wonderful. And I think we all buy into this. God bless you. And that's where I end the show tonight. Don't forget, this is
Thank you very much.
Meeting. As usual.
Thank you, Lady Gladys. Thank you, Daddy Chris. I appreciate you. I appreciate as many callers have called in today. Barrister, I really appreciate you as well. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thank you too.
SRTV. Innovative content. Global